Hey, everybody. My name is Dana Trupiana, and I'm here today with Eileen and Ken.
Hello. What's up, guys?
So today is the first day that we have Eileen on the podcast, which is super exciting.
Yay!
Eileen is my cousin, so I've done a lot of stuff with her. If you guys have followed my channel, you've seen me do lives with her. I've always tried to kind of bring her into the fray. I'm trying to tell Eileen I call Eileen Lee. Like we grew up together. She's like my little sister. So if you guys hear me say the word Lee, I'm referring to her. You're not allowed to call her that. It's just me.
No, don't call me that.
Eileen has been asking me since the beginning of this night what the premise of this show is, what we're going to do, how I'm going to do everything. And I'm telling her, I'm not telling you, shut up, mind your business. So I know that you got a glimpse of the flashcards back there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So pretty much what I did last week is I have the label of the post on the flashcards. Okay. So you're going to pick out 2 cards. Ken's going to pick out 2 cards and you're going to read it off. I'm going to give you like a TLDR. Do you know what TLDR means?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a TLDR, which is like a quick summary of it. And then you vote yes or no whether to read it. If you don't want to read it, that's fine. We'll put it out of rotation, but you do have to give a reason why. You can say, I don't want to read it because I don't think that's going to be interesting. I don't want to read it because I think that's going to trigger me. Totally fine. And we don't have to discuss it past that. But we do want to just get a glimpse of why you don't want to do it. But yeah, so you'll pick out 2 cards. He'll pick out 2 cards. I'll give a TLDR, and we'll all vote. I mean, I don't have to vote. I wrote them down. I know I'm good. But you guys will say yes or no after I give the TLDR, and then if you say yes, we go ahead and read it, and then have a conversation about it. Sound good?
So it's kind of like you're picking our topics.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying You were asking me for topics. I'm like, I don't know them yet. I can't give them to you because they're on those flashcards and there's a bunch of them. Guys, we're having issues with recording because the way that the cameras are set up, I have one that's directly on me. Ken has one that's directly on him, but we don't have one focused directly on Lee. She only has this double view. So we keep having to remind her like, hey, the camera's only going to get the side of your face. We don't want that. So we apologize for any weird recording stuff that we're seeing. We're just trying to get our little groove down.
I'm also just an awkward human being in general. So.
Yeah, so am I. It's okay.
But you're not as awkward
the awkward
as me.
podcast. Are you kidding me?
Are you crazy?
Are you kidding me? I am that person, bro. I am that person that like if that awkward situation could happen to anybody in the world, it's you. Like I'm the type of person that'll be like sitting there and like someone will wave at me and I wave back and they're waving at the person behind me. Like that's my whole life story. Okay. Don't tell me you're not as awkward. I am an awkward human
they're waving
being.
to me. Hi. It's
yeah,
like, no,
I like go to
we
give
have
someone a high five and they like look at me like I'm a crazy person. They're like, what the, I'm like the type of person that like I'll go to give a high five and they just like walk away and I'm just like
clapping at a funeral.
Exactly. Clapping at a funeral. Exactly. That was my thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and make these selections. Now, let me tell you about these flashcards. So a heads up, I have a bunch of different categories that you can choose from, but definitely by far the largest category that I have, and I think it's just because of how red it is family. So like family interactions, sisters, moms, dads, husbands, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I also have categories of work, crime, and interesting facts. So would you want to just pull from the family because we have so much more there, or do you have any interest in any of the other categories?
We can do like maybe just like a little bit of each, I guess.
So you're only picking 2 and he's picking 2. And trust me, it's going to be struggle to try to get to all 4. Like this is going to be a long episode, I promise you. So you know what? Let's do family. And then if you come back next time, we could try some work or interesting facts.
Okay, sounds good.
Is that all we're doing as family?
Yeah. Just because there's so many more of them that it's a little harder to like nail down the episode if you start going into other ones,
I just, my family is not really the best of subject for me, but we'll make it work.
Well, you don't have to relate to it. You can, but you don't have to. So for this episode, we're going to go family. And then if you come back another week, we'll do like a whole crime episode or something like that.
Now you're speaking my language.
She will come back.
Yeah, you're going to come back. I'll bully you into it.
Trust me, it's annoying every single week that we do this because like we can't just we don't have a studio that we could set up and just leave there. So it's annoying. We have to set up everything. We get faster and faster, but you're a new person, so we don't have any mic settings.
Yeah,
for
it won't be this annoying next time. It'll be like a lot easier to just kind of get into it. But it is fun. I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay, so you can pick, you know what? Let me shuffle. Here you go. Pick 2. Nope.
Pick 2.
Just make sure you pick taking one at a time.
Panera Bread.
Okay.
Not sponsored.
There you go. Okay, Ken.
2, not 3.
Okay, so Lee and Ken have officially made their choices. And again, let me just reiterate what's going to happen is you're going to read off your card. I'm going to give a TLDR, like a brief summary of the post and everything that's written in it. And then you are going to, each of you are going to vote yes or no, whether to move forward. If it's no, you explain why it's no, and then we move on. If it's yes, I'll go ahead and read the post, okay? Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right. So, Eileen, since you're the first time on this post, you go ahead and read.
I always go last.
We're going to read off both. So, just whichever one you want. Just go ahead and read it.
So I read it now.
Yes.
Okay. AITA for refusing to tell my mom who told me her husband isn't my dad.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, hang on. Okay, so for this story, pretty much the premise of it is this: there's this 16-year-old girl, and she finds out that her dad that she always knew isn't actually her biological dad, and it explains a lot about how this man has treated her for her entire life versus how he's treated her siblings. When she finally learns the truth and she finally confronts her mother about it, her mom, instead of being worried about how it's going to affect her and how she's going to feel about it, she starts getting obsessed with finding out who told her that he wasn't actually her father. So the whole thing is like she wants to know if she is a jerk for not saying something about who actually told her because her mom cares more about who told her versus how she's feeling about it. So how do you guys feel about reading that?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So here's the post. AITA for refusing to tell my mom who told me her husband isn't my dad. I, 16 female, always wondered why my dad treated me different to my siblings 15F, 12M, and 11M. Even though me and my sister are just over a year apart in age, he would love on her and was super supportive of her and her interests. He was her cheerleader when she needed one, and he made sure to be there for all her plays. He's the same with my brothers, but he's never been there to any of my recitals. He never showed an interest in stuff I liked. Whenever I went to him for cheering up, he brushed me off. And he spoiled my siblings by buying them toys, candy, or whatever, but he never got stuff for me. When my mom wasn't home, I was either pushed to sleep at a friend's house or a family member's house, or he'd do a movie night or a game night with my siblings and told me to stay in my room. I cried to my mom so many times about it, and she told me he treated me that way because we were the most alike and we butted heads. But I never fought him or disagreed with him. I never got enough time with him to do any of that. So a relative told me a couple of months ago that he's not my dad. My mom was seeing him and my bio dad. Dad knew about my bio dad and said he wasn't going to keep sharing her. So my mom chose him, and that's when she found out about me, and he said she could keep me regardless, but if I wasn't his, he wanted a kid of his own. They DNA tested me, and I'm not his, so my sister was born so close to me because of that promise. After hearing the truth and seeing proof, I confronted my parents. He told me now that I knew, I could start calling him Drake instead of Dad. My mom was not as yay she knows, though. She has asked me every day, sometimes multiple times a day, who told me. She was pestered by several family members to be honest with me, and she had no idea which of them said something, and I refused to tell. Even if it was disrespectful to do it behind her back, I'm glad I found out now. It's opened the truth that I have no college savings like my siblings, and Drake doesn't want me to stay a day after my 18th birthday. He said I was never his. He never loved me, and he wants at least 1 year with only his family. All my mom cares about is finding out who. She tried to ground me and told me I needed to say something because nobody should tell a kid stuff like this without a parent knowing and being there. She said hiding who they are also makes them shitty because they're encouraging a minor to keep stuff from a parent intentionally to avoid consequences for that person.
What
So
is
the original question is AITA for refusing to tell my mom who told me her husband isn't my dad.
No, you're definitely not. OP, you are good because guess what? That's confidence that someone told you something that you probably should know, especially because you've been wondering your entire life why my dad treats me so differently, like I'm the redheaded stepchild. And it's because I hate to say it, you kind of are the redheaded stepchild in this situation. And you have every right to know. And they're hiding it from you your entire life. Like he's kicking you out at 18, like because he wants to have time with his real family. How about this? Don't speak to me at all now. Like he's clearly not being doesn't support her that well.
Well, that's hard because they live in the same house. There's no ability to, oh, okay, well just don't talk to me. They live together.
I mean, you can definitely make it very well known. Like, I just will walk past you, treat you like a stranger walking by. Like, I'm here because of my mom, and that's it.
It sounds like that's exactly what's going
Yeah.
on. What are your thoughts?
I don't think she's the asshole. Definitely not. I feel like that with her mom being so focused on who told me, who told her, it's like almost like mom has some sort of guilt and she knows she did something wrong. There's like definitely way more deeper into that besides like mom was screwing around with two people, mom got pregnant. Like there's more to go along with it. And she's really scared for something to come out. That's why she's like trying to pinpoint who, like, okay, was it Uncle Ben? Was it, and whoever, like she's so focused on trying to find that out because she's trying to save herself. Personally, for me, I think that both of them are kind of shitty to her.
The
Like,
mom's grounding her because she's not giving that information. Like, I don't know. That just,
she does still have a right to her own privacy. She doesn't need to tell her mom every little thing. Like you don't need to tell your parents every little thing. Like it's like almost like you're bullying it out of her.
Yeah.
And she has a right to keep that to herself. Like everyone has their own right to keep certain things to themselves. And I think that's one of them that she wants to keep to herself is that she now found out who her real father was.
So
but
to be fair, because I agree, I don't think she's the asshole at all. I think that she's fully in the right. I think the dad's a piece of shit. I think the mom's a piece of shit.
right on.
However, to be fair, if my kid came to me and told me something like some dark family secret that I never wanted my kid to find out, I would be upset about it. I would be like, I would want to know who told them because first of all, that person is no longer a confidant. Like they're going behind your back. They're telling your kid something that you didn't want your kid to know. Second of all, depending on who it is, depends on what the motive was. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because if it's Bob, maybe the motive is just to cause trouble in the family. If it's Susie, the motive is to try to help her mental health. So it does depend on who it is, how you feel about it. You know what I'm saying?
So devil's advocate a little bit here too is that so she's 17 because the dad said that he wanted her out at 18, right?
She's 16 years old.
Oh, she's 16. Okay. So yeah, devil's advocate. I mean, being a parent now, like I feel that I would definitely want to know also because like, so I don't think the mom is completely an a-hole here just because like I would want to know, but like the way she treats her
Yeah,
with the
that's
situation, I think
exactly
that's
what, like, that's how I'm seeing it too, is that like, yes, like I can understand why, again, being a parent as well, like I can understand why she's so like, like upset, like, okay, like who told you this information? If something's that big of a secret should come from me, not from someone else. But it's just the way that she's going around it. She's like, oh, you're grounded until you tell me. Not even just being like, hey, by the way, my husband's an asshole for treating you like this for 16 years. Like, let's just completely forget about the fact that the husband's being a piece of shit. Let's forget that. No, let's just worry more about the fact that it was either Uncle Bob or Aunt Susie that told you.
And that's why I think that the mom is the asshole no matter what, honestly. No matter how she handles it, she's an asshole. And the dad, Drake, is an asshole because, first of all, how do you stay with this man for 16 years that you're watching treat your daughter like shit?
And then have multiple kids with him
Like,
on
okay,
top of that.
I get it. I get that things went down wrong 16 years ago, okay? And then 1 year later, you made a promise to him and then you had another kid. I get that. But for 15 years, you've watched this man treat your 16-year-olds like a piece of shit.
Your
like a
first kid.
second-class citizen in your house. Okay, so like I think she's a piece of garbage for staying with this man because me personally, I don't care if I came into the relationship with a 2-year-old. I don't care what the circumstances are. You are going to treat my child with respect and you're going to treat them just the same way you treat every single other kid in this house, or I'm not going to be in this house.
Absolutely.
It's horrible to think of the complexes that this man has given this poor girl. She's lived her entire life thinking that she's inferior. Thank God somebody came out and told her why this was, because all this time she's definitely been thinking there's something wrong with me. There's some reason that he doesn't love me. There's something about me that he just can't stand.
Which what it really sounds like is that the mom cheated, got pregnant, had no idea who the father was.
That's exactly what it is. She said they had to do a DNA test.
No, yeah, but like that could have been, oh, I had a one night stand and then got with the dad and it just was so overlapped. But it sounds like he hates her because she cheated, right, and he just stayed with her and like whatever.
But still, the mother sat there and watched this man treat her child, her first child, this way. I don't care what your reasoning is. I don't care.
Oh, I agree.
I would 100. Can you imagine letting a man?
Absolutely not. Never.
Like you have
over my dead body.
You have an 8-year-old,
9-year-old,
9-year-old. You have a 9-year-old. Imagine a man. Imagine you going and having a relationship with somebody, having another kid, and then having that man treat your 9-year-old like very differently. Oh, you're moving out at 18. Like
no, I'll be walking out the door so fast.
Horrific. Man.
And there's definitely signs there. Like when she was pregnant with the OP, there was definitely signs that like he didn't just one day wake up and just start being crazy like this. Like
right. And you got to think he was probably treating this 1-year-old and newborn differently. Like this is not a new thing. He treated them different their whole lives. And the fact that the mother stayed this whole poor girl's life is just horrific to me. Like it makes me sick to my stomach to think about the way that this poor girl grew up. It's horrible.
Mom, like trying to keep this big dark secret, literally just set this girl up for so much failure.
Yeah.
Low self-esteem. Like she's going to be more susceptible to being in abusive relationships
huge
now.
Daddy issues.
Huge daddy issues. I know because I have my own. Like it's just like the fact that like you thinking that like, okay, if I hid this secret, she'll be fine. Like, no, actually you just made this girl so much more worse off than what she probably would have been.
Right. And that's what I mean when I say complexes that she gave her. Like she is now going through her entire life like, well, there's something about me that's inherently unlovable because she didn't have the information of, oh, okay, he's treating me like this because I'm not his daughter. He's treating my siblings like this because they are his kids. If she had that information from the get-go, maybe she wouldn't have developed that. But by keeping these secrets, it's given her these self-esteem issues, these issues of, well, maybe there's something about me that's just inherently bad. There's some reason that this man that's my father, because honestly, at the end of the day, Drake should have started to love this girl no matter what. Like at the end of the day, that's a child that you raised. I don't care if it's your kid. I don't care what circumstances she was born with. It doesn't matter.
If you're with someone and that whether like I've been like before us, obviously, like I dated a girl that had a kid. I dated 2 different girls that had kids. And like, I was like, all right, you got a kid. Cool. I'm going to treat you like you're my kid. When from the time that you meet that kid, you're going to treat that kid like it's your kid. Now, if they don't want you, but like obviously they stayed together. Like there is no reason that this man is treating OP with anything but you are my child.
I don't know. It kind of like blows my mind a little bit because I'm a single parent. I typically, when I do date, and which I don't really date that much, but when I do date, I usually tend to date other parents because they understand your crazy schedule. They understand that, like if you flake last minute because your kid is sick, like they're not going to be all like pissy about it. And like when I would meet, and I only met like one of my ex's kids before, but like you can't just like not see this child all the time and be like not develop a bond with them.
Yeah.
Like, are you like, it sound like Drake sounds like a sociopath almost in a way,
Right.
because there's no way that you can sit and pretty much essentially raise a child from birth and just have this inherited as I hate you, you're not mine,
to the
and
point
just
where like
not develop a bond with them, like
right,
at
to
all.
the point of like, oh, the family's going out and you're the only person here. Go to a family member's house. You can't even spend the night in your own house. Like imagine that. Imagine growing up your whole life and your siblings have no issues, but if you are home alone at night,
it's like the real life A Child Called It.
right? Yeah.
From that book, A Child Called It. That's how
Yeah,
it reminds
exactly.
me
It's
of.
That's
crazy.
exactly what it's like. So yeah, we do have comments. So let's read the first
I
comment.
hope there's an update from OP. Like I
Are
really
you
do.
okay? Like, girl, are you okay? Did you get out of that? Like,
Okay, so the first comment, you have a terrible mother. What a shit parent. And then she quotes, like she's rephrasing, I'm being emotionally neglected and abused my entire childhood. Mom proceeds to gaslight daughter and lie for years. Finally, someone is honest, and she does not give a shit about the emotional damage done, just who finally was honest. She's also okay with you having nothing like your siblings and being kicked out. Terrible parent. You will never be the asshole to her. She has entirely failed you as a parent. She deserves the worst. And I feel like that comment is very much so agreeing with what we're saying.
Yeah.
However, I do think that, I don't know, I'm also looking at it like, I guess as a parent, I look at it and I'm like, if I had a 16-year-old daughter and somebody told her information like that, this is different because this she deserves to know. But I don't know. I've been telling you lately, like there's a lot of things that when Lucas grows up, I don't want him to know about me. You know, I don't want Lucas to know that I got into fights and I got into trouble and I got kicked out of school. Like that's not the stuff I want him to know.
Okay, so you not wanting your son to know that you were a troublemaker in school or something like that, that's not you emotionally damaging him. That's you trying to protect him because when you for me, like it was the same thing, like because I dropped out of high school. And once I had my son, I went and got my GED because I didn't want him to be like, oh, well, mom dropped out and didn't get her GED. Like, no, like you want to make better examples for your kid. So if your son hears these stories about how mom got into fights and mom was in trouble, then he's going to think it's okay.
Right.
Like, so you doing that is protecting him to help him become a better person opposed to lying about who their parent is.
And I'm not justifying what she did because she is a piece of shit. Let's be honest. This mother is a piece of shit. What I am trying to say though is that I see the stance of somebody told my 16-year-old something that I didn't want my 16-year-old to know, and now I'm pissed and I want to know who it was. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, you're 100% right. Like the thought, what the secret is does make a difference, you know? But at the same time, secret telling, like if he comes to me at 16 years old and he's like, Mom, you got kicked out of school, like I'm gonna be like, what the hell? Who told you that? And I'll be pissed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but like also at the same time though, you got to remember, like in this situation at least, mom is pissed off because the daughter knows now about this big family secret. But instead of trying to be like, how is it like, okay, so now that you know the truth and how are you feeling with this? Like where is your head at right now?
Yeah.
Are you safe? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel like everything's making sense? Do you have any questions for me? No, it's who told you? Was it
Yeah.
Aunt Becky or Uncle Bob?
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, she's not seeing the full picture of it. She's not seeing that, like, okay, like, maybe this is why my daughter is so emotionally damaged. Like, she's not thinking that. She's thinking very selfishly.
Yeah.
I can understand to a degree of what you're trying to say, but I can't get on board with it. I can't. I with this mom, I can't. Yes, she should, like, she does want to know for that exact reason, like, okay, like, like Uncle Bob is a drunk, and he will make he'll over exaggerate on things, or Aunt Susie just is the the
bleeding
mediator
heart of the family.
Yeah, like the bleeding heart of the family, just wants to make everything better. I can understand that to a certain degree, but not to the point where what kind of secret this is.
Right.
It sounds
Yeah.
like mom honestly hates OP just as much as the dad does.
I
Like, 'cause
agree.
she's looking at, I feel like she looks at her daughter and is like, "You're the mistake that almost cost me my marriage."
And the fact that she let it go on this long says that.
Exactly. Like, I hate you too. So, like, unfortunately, I hate to say that to have OP, but I'm sure you probably realize it now that both your parents probably hate you, and it
Yeah.
sucks. And I feel for you.
She needs so much therapy to ever be okay again. It's
Yeah.
sad. It's really sad.
But you know what you gotta do? You gotta find yourself a significant other that loves you, that doesn't beat on you, that lets you feel like you are the best thing in the world and the only thing that actually matters.
See, but the really sad thing about this is that a lot of the time people seek out what they had their whole life. So this girl has been neglected and pushed aside and had other people be more important than her whole life. And unfortunately, unless she does a lot of work in therapy, she'll probably look for that in a relationship.
And if she gets something that's really good, it's actually going to be like, oh my God, you're overbearing. And probably
Yeah.
she'll probably push them away.
Like
Exactly.
culture shock
You're,
in a way.
you're
like
a
it's
stage
gonna
5
freak her out.
clinger. You're
Okay.
a stage 5 clinger and get
Yeah.
away.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like all I did was just open the door for you
Yeah.
when we went to the movies. Like, but she's not going to see it
I
that
just
way.
stuck up to you against my mother, and she'll look at it like, but wait, people aren't supposed to do that. People aren't supposed to take my side. People aren't supposed to put me as a priority.
People aren't
Something's wrong
supposed to
with
bring
you.
me. People aren't supposed to bring me cold medicine when I'm sick, and then call you a stage 5 clinger. But I'm botch. Sorry, personal drama, personal damage.
So the next comment is, she also hid a bio father, a dad, someone who might not know about OP, might not have ever known, and might have, I don't know, actually wanted his daughter. OP's mom took a fucking father from her. I hope she goes no contact ASAP. And I hope she finds her bio dad and his family. And above all, I hope her bio dad wants her.
Bro, imagine if bio dad is sitting there paying child support this entire time.
Oh my God, imagine.
Like, there's a couple scenarios. Maybe OP's mom doesn't know who the father is.
No, she knows.
Oh,
She knows.
did it say it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it did.
So then maybe she could have went and gotten child support. But if that were the case, I hope OP sues mom for child support, because guess what? There's something like,
it wouldn't work like that. Child support is meant for supporting the child, not as
but
a bank
clearly it
account
hasn't
for-
been happening.
But it has. I mean, she didn't say anything as far as like, I didn't have school clothes, I didn't have food.
It
to
also doesn't
eat.
matter if that man is not on the certificate. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Technically,
Even
by
if he
law,
is.
there's.
But
you know,
even if he is, at the end of the day, as long as she had food and she always had a roof over her
Yeah.
head,
You can't really
that.
sue if like,
Yeah.
oh, I bring you to, Gucci to go get clothes, or I bring the rest of the family to Gucci to get clothes, but I'm bringing you to the Tia's flea market and picking
Yeah.
out,
no one here knows what the flea market
A
is.
flea market,
Burlington.
though.
No, I know,
Burlington.
but it's just funny.
No,
the way
'cause
it's-
Burlington-
because like no one else is
Walmart
gonna know
or
what
something.
Yeah.
AT's flea market is, unless you
Unless
live.
you're from New York,
Yeah,
The
unless you live on
keyword
Long Island.
flea market, like,
Okay,
anyway.
so let me finish this comment. How can a mom stay with a man who tells her that her/their child, because he's the only dad she's ever known, and mom forced the idea, isn't shit, won't ever be shit, now give me a child, woman? OP, fuck your parents. I'm sorry they're the ones who gave life to you. But I'm so glad that one member of the family cared enough to end your suffering. Because your mom and dirtbag Drake would have strung you along for another 2 years. And I bet Dirtbag's gift would have been a card that said, "Happy 18th birthday. I'm not your dad. Get out so I can love my kids. Leave your key. You're not welcome back here. Damn it. I hate your mom and I hate Drake."
I feel like she would have been better off in foster care at this. Like, not really, because I get it, but
I disagree there.
no, I get that, but like, I just feel like it's, I don't know. You were dealt a really shitty hand, and it's because of your parents. And I hope that you can find your bio dad. Maybe, he could be trash too. Who knows? But I hope not, for your sake, and I hope that you can flourish that family relationship. That's all.
It sounds like this guy has no idea that she exists, and it's really sad.
Maybe talk to that.
She could have lived her whole life with Drake treating her like shit, but going to her dad's on the weekends. Like, life could have been so different if they didn't keep this secret for 16 years.
I wonder whoever told her, though, may actually know who bio dad is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why mom was so hell bent on trying to find out who told her. Like, there's a reason why she's so paranoid about who in the family told her. There's more underlying things about this mom than we don't realize. I don't know. Maybe I watch a lot of Law and Order. I feel like that there is like a deep underlying like meaning for every little thing.
I mean, I definitely think that there could be some like deep thing, but I also could just think that, like, I know, again, if someone said something that I didn't want my kid knowing, I want to know who it was, because one, you don't have a right to say like groundbreaking information that, like, I didn't want my kid knowing. And I'm not taking the mom's side at all, because she's a piece of shit. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I get where mom's coming from, where she's pissed off, but at the same point, you're a piece of shit, and I really don't care what your opinion is.
I think that we just understand mom to a parent standpoint, because all three of us are parents.
Yeah.
So like, we understand as being parents why we wouldn't want these secrets to be told to our children, because if something that big was going to come out, you want it to come from you, not someone else.
Or at the very least, you want to be there when it comes out.
Yes, that I can understand. So I just think that we just see it as that because we're all parents.
Right.
I think that if we were just, an average person like across the street that like doesn't have any kids, I think that we would think completely different on that.
Yeah.
But I just, no, mom's an asshole. Drake's an asshole. I can even go deep and say that even the siblings are assholes, because everyone is watching this girl get treated on. They're watching their sister essentially get treated like dog shit their entire life, and they're just like, okay, like they're like not thinking anything of it. They just think it's normal. Like, it's like almost like in like, I don't know, like Harry Potter, and like when Harry Potter gets like treated like shit and sleeps under the stairs.
I don't know if you can fully blame the siblings, because, like, granted, I know my siblings would never let that happen with me. But at the same point,
and it doesn't say that the kids made up for it. Like, oh,
no,
well,
I'm
my
just
siblings.
Thinking more
no,
into
I know,
it,
but like, it doesn't say in this post, oh, well, I was treated like shit by Drake, but my siblings always made sure to give me extra love.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying, like, because there could be some sort of trauma where, like, hey, he's treating her like such a piece of shit that if I try to help and stick up for him, am I gonna get treated like a piece of shit? Because they don't know that he's not her father. So, like, there's growing up like that. You could
bystander effect almost in a way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back to the post, it does say my mom was seeing him and my bio dad. So there's no question. It's not like, oh, well, it could be one of 7 people. Like, she knows exactly who this girl's dad is. So I don't know. It's sad. Okay. So let's move on to the next post. We're going to move on to Ken's first post.
AITA for not wanting my husband to be in the delivery room while I give birth.
Okay. So that one, she is a mom and she has 1 kid already. She's about to give birth to her second kid, but the first time she gave birth, husband wasn't exactly supportive, and he ended up actually leaving the hospital at one point. This time around, she doesn't know if she wants him in the delivery room because she doesn't want him causing problems and making it a bad experience the way he did the first time. And she wants to know if she's the asshole pretty much for not wanting him in there. So what do you think, Reed?
I'm about that one.
I'm interested.
Yeah? Okay, great. AITA for not wanting my husband to be in the delivery room while I give birth. I, 27 female, Have been with my husband, 28 male, for 10 years now. I'm currently 7 months pregnant with our second child. Our firstborn, 3 male, was born on the same day as my mother-in-law, so they share the same birthday. This will be a big part on why I don't want my husband in the delivery room. While I was pregnant with our son, early into my pregnancy, I experienced many complications that led me to be in the ICU for a month. Honestly, not the best experience when it comes to being pregnant. While I was in the ICU, my husband couldn't really be with me due to him having to work, which I understood. He's the only one working. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. Fast forward to me giving birth. I was already in labor for 1 full day at home, and since I had only been about 2 centimeters dilated and my water still hadn't broken, they sent me home. Some hospitals send you home until you're a certain amount of centimeters dilated or your water hasn't broken yet, so you don't spend so many days in the hospital. After being stuck at 2 centimeters dilated for another day and my water still hadn't broken, I had an ultrasound to see baby boy. He started to measure smaller. My then doctor decided to induce me. We scheduled the inducement for the following day. We arrived at the hospital and I was taken in right away to my room and began the inducement process. I was hooked up to an IV and the inducement process began. After about 10 hours of slow and more inducing medication throughout these 10 hours, I was only dilated 1 more centimeter. My doctor waited for another 5 hours to see how things were going, and with still no change, my doctor decided to break my water using a needle with a tiny hook at the end to pop the sac in hopes to speed up the dilation. At this point, I had been in labor for about 3 stressful days, 2 days at home and 1 day in the hospital, and things were starting to get really stressful, for me at least. My husband, on the other hand, was on the phone for a majority of the time. My mom was also in the delivery room with us, and my mom was helping me the best way she could, helping me breathe, massaging my back, rocking my hips, etc. Prior to me going into labor, my husband didn't want my mom to be in the delivery room with us, as he wanted to experience this just for us. We discussed this before, as I wanted my mother to be there since it was our first pregnancy and both of us didn't know what to expect. Let's just say I'm extremely thankful that my mother was there and I didn't let my husband talk me into not letting her. Shortly after getting my water broken, my husband decided to leave for what he stated was a work issue. I didn't really argue or get mad with him at the time because I was in so much pain. I had no epidural and I couldn't really get my thoughts together. He was gone for about 2 hours. He stayed for about 5 hours before he decided to leave again. This time, he told my mom he had to go back to his mother's house to pick something up and that he would be right back. At this point, I had just had the 6th adjustment to my IV, making contractions much stronger, and that led to me dilating a lot quicker. Before he left for the second time, I was about 5 centimeters dilated, and in literally 30 minutes, I was 10 centimeters dilated. I started to feel the urge to push, and I communicated this to my mom, and she rushed to tell the nurse since they had stepped out of the room. 2 nurses came rushing in and checked on me. The nurse that checked on me said that she could already feel baby boy's head coming, and they called my doctor to come in the room to prepare for delivery. I started to push, low-key fighting it because my husband still wasn't back. My mother called him, and thank God he answered the phone. My mother told him that I was starting to push. With that being said, he was still at his mother's house, and he said that he was going to rush on his way back to the hospital. I was starting to push again, and this time I could see the crown of baby boy's head. Then I see my husband come into the room, and I remember seeing my mom give him the craziest look of disappointment while telling him to get his shit together and hold my hand. 4 pushes later, and I delivered our beautiful, healthy baby boy. The next day, as I got some much needed rest and I could think more clearly, I asked my husband where the fuck he went, that he almost missed the delivery. He said that he was at his mother's house and that side of the family threw his mother a surprise birthday party, that he had no idea about it, but I refused to believe that he didn't know. Oh, and she fell down some stairs. I was shocked and livid that he went to his mother's house to begin with, and he almost missed the birth of our son. Now that we're expecting our second baby, I still haven't forgotten or forgiven him about how he acted the first time around. And I told him that this time, he either stays the entire time, with the exception of just him going to get food for himself, or not to be there at all. He said I'm just overreacting and that he had no idea about the surprise event that he originally went to at his mother's house to begin with, because she had just fallen down some stairs and he went to see if she was okay. For some context, I love his mom. She's an amazing person. But for him to leave me in the delivery room to go help his mom is just ridiculous, and I don't think I'm overreacting. So AITA for not wanting him there at all?
No, she's not. So, I mean, first of all, being that we just had a kid, there was nothing that was more important than you at that time. And I think I did a pretty good job establishing that. Like, I think we were good. But that's all about you, the OP, and your delivery, because like you're the one pushing, you're the one in pain. The husband's supposed to be there to support you, and he clearly wasn't. And if that's gonna make it more stressful, of like, oh, are you gonna dip out and miss this second pregnant, like the birth of your second child? Like, that is not on you at all. So you are completely valid. I mean, even if, like, let's say he owned a business and like when he said the first time it was a work issue, I can understand that. Like, all right, you're 2 centimeters dilated at that point. The baby's not exactly going to come, but like even 2 hours is too long. He probably should have cut that down a little bit. But the fact that he then dipped out and said, let me go take care of my mom for 5 hours, that's suspicious in the first place. Oh, there's a surprise. So she fell down the stairs. But when I got there, it was a surprise party that apparently I didn't know about. Like, what? No.
That doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah.
How? So your mother fell down the stairs and then had a surprise party? Like, if it was a surprise, that means she didn't know. So why would she lie and say that she fell down the stairs, or did she actually fall down the stairs and then have a surprise? It just doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he was like checking on her. Maybe she fell down like 2-3 days prior, and then it was her birthday. So they were like, oh, we had the surprise party planned, so we just continued to do it. Plus, that would make somebody feel a little bit better if they're in pain. So maybe let's give him the benefit of the doubt with that. But the fact that your wife is having your firstborn child and she's already having a 3-day labor, and your reaction is, well, I'm going to go and check on my mom. And then, oh, wait, there's a surprise birthday party that he didn't know about either, because that's what he said when he got there. As someone that would have had my mother-in-law in the waiting room if she was around for that, like that, I don't.
In the waiting room?
Not the waiting room. In the delivery room. That as someone that would have been in the same boat, like I knew that already. So like that's not a problem for me. But why did you dip out for 5 hours? Like, that's shady. It sounds like he didn't want to be there in the first place, or he was just over the fact that he was there for so long. But either way,
he was tired of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about him. So like.
Right.
Since he didn't make those 3 days easier and not about you, you can make this about yourself and not allow him in the delivery room.
Fully agreed.
Yeah, she definitely not the asshole in that. Even if this was all true, let's say like she really fell down the stairs, he really didn't know about the party or whatever. Why would you not tell her this while it's happening? You know what I mean? Like, why would you not text her? Why would you not text the other, the mom? Like, you know what I'm saying? He left or whatever. And then I just came to my mom's house and she fell down the stairs. I'm going to go take care of her for a little bit. How are you doing? Is everything okay? What's going on with the baby? Like, you're not making any effort into just communicating this with her. And then this whole surprise party thing, just doesn't make any sense to me.
He said that when he left the first time, he stated that it was a work issue that made him leave. So he didn't leave and say, oh, my mom fell down the stairs.
So he
I have to
originally
go.
lied.
Yeah.
So he was on the phone for 2 hours and it was a work issue. Then he came back and then he dipped out again for 5 hours.
No. So he was there all day on the phone.
Correct.
He left for 2 hours saying it was a work issue, came back for 5 hours, and then left again saying that he had to go pick something up from his mother's house and that he would be right back. So nowhere when he left or when he was communicating it right off the rip did he say, my mom fell down the stairs. I have to go make sure she's okay.
Is he selling drugs? Like, that sounds like
yeah, that just like sounds like very like either that or like cheating or something along those lines.
I was thinking cheating too, but
me too.
Like, it sounds like he was just like, I have to go see, this is my kid being born, I have to be there, but like I really want to be with you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like any mother-in-law or anyone who knows that like this person's about to give you your grandchild would probably be really understanding, like, oh, I can't have my son with me because he needs to be with his wife, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's definitely not the asshole in this, and also I feel like it's just like the story is just, it's full of a bunch of holes. He's lying through his teeth. He's not making any sense. Like, he's just like pulling up any excuse out of his ass that he can. And for her to not want him there, she's 100% valid for that. If, like you were saying before, like if it's going to cause more stress for her, then why is she like, why would, like, if there's any way to alleviate that stress, then she should. Because as both you and I know, having a baby is very stressful on our bodies, and any little extra amount of stress can really put you and that baby's literal life at risk. So if she can do anything to protect her child, then I say so be it. Like, so she's not the asshole on that.
So
I think a lot of the time people disregard the fact that giving birth is a medical procedure. A lot of times guys are like, oh, I want my mom to be there. I want this. I want that. I want to. And they disregard the fact that this is literally a medical procedure for their significant other, whatever, the girl that's giving birth to their baby.
It's a serious medical procedure, nonetheless.
Right.
Like, not just a regular, like, oh, I'm going to get my nose cauterized. Like being that we've gone through it, like that's a serious procedure. Like whether it's a C-section or regular just pushing birth, it is a serious procedure.
And a lot of guys want it to be their way. What they want it to be about them. They want to be comfortable. They want this, but they just completely disregard the fact that like a lot of women die in birth. And I mean, in America, it's crazy, the mortality rates. We are so not even close to the top of like, we take care of I think we're one of the worst developed nations in terms of women that die during childbirth. And if you take a person of color, it's 1,000 times worse. Like the rates are twice the mortality rate.
Yeah.
It's did you guys see the video that's going viral right now about the girl that was literally in active labor and she was being triaged at the ER?
No.
No, I never saw
So there's this video and it's like going viral right now because she's getting triaged. She's screaming in pain. She's
yes,
black.
I saw, but the nurse, right? She completely ignored her, right?
Mm-hmm. She's like asking stupid questions. Do you have any other babies at home? And like all
completely prolonging it.
Right. And like all the famous, because there's a lot of content creators that are famous for being nurses, being labor and delivery, and they're all getting on there and they're like, this is how I would have handled it. But it's like, this is the most insane thing that you'll see. And men don't really, I mean, this is another girl. Like there's no excuse for this girl in that video. But it's just giving birth is so like normalized. Like I can't count how many times I've heard, oh, people have been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years. You'll live. Like, okay, bro, but how many people have died doing it? Like, this is not just a no big deal thing. When I gave birth, I literally sat there and I told Ken, I was like, all right, listen, like, if I don't make it through this, you have to still love our son. Like, you can't, I never had a doubt, but I was like, you can't have a grudge on him because giving birth to him took me. Like, it's so possible to die giving birth, and every single female that gives birth goes into this procedure knowing that. Yeah, so the fact that they sit there and like minimize it is crazy.
Yeah, even if it's like you were saying, like whatever, like how you're having this baby, like whether it's cesarean or natural, which I had my child natural, and I even had those thoughts. Like I was even kind of like, if I don't survive this, like you need to make sure that the baby's taken care of, everything like that. And so for someone to just like completely dismiss that, like, is like wild to me. And they're like, what'd you say, like 28 years old?
She is 27. He's 28.
Okay. So I like that, just like, I had my son at 22. I was fairly young. I wasn't young, but I was still, kind of young.
Pretty young.
And my son's father, we were still together at the time. He had no clue what he was doing, just like I was. But the second I went into labor, though, like he was there the entire time, even though he had no idea what he was doing. At least he didn't leave my side,
Right.
like he literally made sure that we had everything together. We had the bag ready, everything. And he did not, the only time he left was to go home and I think just get like a change of clothes for overnight. And then he came back.
Yeah.
Like literally, I remember like we had literally had to call his parents at like 6 o'clock in the morning because we were living at their house at the time. And his dad was like, "Hey, where are you?" And he's like, "Oh, we're at the hospital. She's going into labor. We don't want to wake anybody up until we knew what was going on." He literally made sure he did not leave that house, like not leave my side at all. So, and for someone who was like, two young people having a child who had no idea what they were doing, he never left my side. Like he has no, like there's like, even if it's a work related thing, like we all have business, like people have businesses, people have high stress careers and stuff like that, but you figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, your wife is about to have a baby. So you figure it out. You get an assistant for that weekend. You get like your secondhand command to take care of everything for you. Like, I'm sorry, but like
there's nothing that you're doing at work. I don't care what your business is. There's
Exactly.
nothing that you're doing that's more important than your wife that is literally in active labor. Nothing.
Exactly. Like,
yeah,
I
like
don't.
that phone call could have been, or if he left for 2 hours, that literally could have been a phone call that would have taken even 10 minutes just to explain, hey, this is what you need to do for the next 3 days. But like, that's what I would have did. Like you said, second in command. Even if you're the owner of the company, you have someone usually that can take on some duties, or just don't operate.
Yeah, or like it just
Don't operate the business. Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
don't
you-
operate the business for 2-3 days, whatever.
You figure it out. Like, I mean, like I even think about like when you had your son, I remember you were just like, I don't know what to do with the dogs. And I'm like, that's where I come in.
Yeah.
Like, and I went and I took care of the dogs for you. And then Ken would like keep us updated on what was going on. But then we'd like, let you guys do your thing. Didn't like bother you until like you said something because we wanted to give you your time.
Yeah.
But like, like he took action in that. Like, and that's where like, as a husband, that is what you need when we're literally, our bodies are literally being torn in half right now. We need our husbands, our boyfriends, significant other, whoever it is, to really step up and really be there for you, because like that's when they need you the most. Like that is when she needed you the most, was when she was about to have your baby.
Mhm.
So the last thing you needed to worry about was, are the dogs okay? Is the stove off? Like, or whatever. Like the last thing you need to do is you want to leave to be able to take care of this. So you would, you figured it out. You asked me to do it. I remember just telling you like, hey, do you need me to bring you anything? You want me to drop you off some McDonald's? Like,
You were trying to talk me into letting you clean my house because
Yeah,
it was
she
the
wouldn't let
week
me-
after our baby shower and my house was a wreck.
Yeah, she wouldn't let me clean though.
She
Sure.
asked me about 50 times, can I just clean your house, please, please, please? I was like, no.
And I was so spiteful, I didn't even take your garbage out. I was like, what? Fine. You want to do that? Then you keep the garbage over there. But I did feed the dogs, and the dogs were fed, so
Yes,
it was okay.
I would not have survived that without you. Oh my God.
So the one thing that I've been thinking about this entire time is that she had this is gonna sound a little mean towards the OP, but you had such a terrible experience having the first kid with him. If that situation would have been myself and Dana, I don't think I'd be in a marriage anymore.
Yeah,
with
we wouldn't be
Dana.
having a second baby.
We would not be having a second baby. Why are I'm not, you know what? You love him. I get it. But you definitely even if we would have stayed together, you wouldn't be having that second baby. There's no way in hell that we would be having that second baby. Like
I was definitely thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like why are you continuing to procreate with that man that literally left you on your own? What?
the whole time. Like, yeah, you had your mom, but like that's not your mom's job. Like I
Right.
agree, and I would have been in the same spot. Like my mother-in-law would have been in the room. But that's not your mom's job. That's your husband's job to make sure that you got everything together. So the only thing you have to do is breathe and push a baby out when they say push. Nothing else should have been your concern.
Yeah.
So why? Like why? Like
Why'd you go do it again?
Like I definitely want to see what the comments say, to be like, maybe I hope there's an update in some comments that are like, hey, but why? Why?
So we do have an update.
Yes.
Okay, good, because I really want to hear what this says.
First, to answer everybody's questions, yes, I decided to stay with him. So it sounds like the comments were like, get out of that relationship. I decided to stay with him after, and our second baby wasn't planned at all. I didn't find out I was pregnant again until after 10 weeks of being pregnant. So she found out when she was 10 weeks along. Yes, 10 weeks. I have fertility issues, so I ended up taking a pregnancy test often, once a month, and all the tests I took were negative until it wasn't. I started to feel unwell and went to the doctor to get some lab work done. That's when I found out we were pregnant again. I did not believe in abortion, so that was out of the question. I stayed because after I gave birth, he really stepped up as a father, and he takes really good care of our son. He's never called me out of my name, and he was there for me postpartum.
Called me out of my name.
Yeah, like you're a bitch.
Oh, okay.
Secondly, not gonna lie, I honestly threw what he did to the side and focused on my mental health and my family, but my guard was very much up. I watched my husband closely and even went back to work at our business. I took it over. He's still very involved, but I handled a majority of it. Third of all, after finding out that I was pregnant again, the feelings that I had while I was in labor came rushing back. And I communicated this to my husband with no remorse. I told him exactly how I felt and what I will and will not tolerate. And hell yes, my mother will be in the room again, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Which, like, let's snaps for the girl that was just like 10 toes down. My mother's going to be there, and if you don't like it, you don't have to be there, you know? I am not a very outgoing person, and honestly, I'm very antisocial. I literally have one friend. I'm also not a very confrontational person, so I tend to just put shit aside and forget about it. I've talked with my mom and my best friend, and they both agree that he shouldn't be let in until I've given birth. My mom expressed how I looked extremely uncomfortable and stressed while giving birth, which made it harder for me to concentrate on actually delivering. I did write out my birth plan with everything that I expect from my husband, and he has read it and agreed to all of it. If he leaves the room at all, he will absolutely not be allowed back in, and he knows this. Anything and everything that we might forget about back at home will be picked up and brought back with my mom. This includes food for the both of them. I say this because sometimes going into labor can be unexpected and kind of rushed, and can sometimes take a day or two, and I don't want them to starve. And this being the second time, it can happen sooner than later. No, this time, baby girl's due date doesn't land on anybody's birthday. My son is so excited, and he can't wait to meet his baby sister. Thank you all for helping me see a little more clearly.
All right. I like the way she handled that. I definitely like.
She definitely handled that very gracefully.
Yeah, she handled it. She laid down like, yo, if you like, I'm gonna give you the chance, but if you f up, we're not gonna play no games. Like, so I kind of like the way she handled it.
Yeah, I think she was very fair with that. She was very like adamant on what she wanted. I can definitely see where she was coming from, like, because like you were saying before, like, why are you having this baby? I can see that where it's like where they really stepped up and they really like they really like became the father that you wanted them to be. So it is easier like to see it like that because like it's like, all right, like I see like he is a good father. Like maybe he did learn from his mistake. Maybe he was just being a naive, moronic first time father. Like you never like he could have like learned from his mistake. He could have definitely stepped up now, especially if he is good with his son. Then he might be really good in the delivery room now. He agreed about the fact that like if he leaves, then he's not coming back in. And if he agrees to that, then I think you should give him that benefit of the doubt, like give him that grace because then she's going to go her entire life going, well, what if he really did stay the entire time?
Yeah.
And I just took away him watching me give birth to her, like to our daughter.
Yeah.
Like, so instead of, because then at the end of the day, then she really will look like the asshole. So I
don't think she would because you got to remember the first situation though. Like, and then she laid it down, like that first situation, like he didn't care enough to be there and make sure he was there, like to the point where like the head was already coming out before he got there. Then he really didn't care in the first place. So like either way, I don't think she looks like the asshole in this at all. Just
No, I
because
don't
of
think she
that.
looks like that at all. But I'm just saying that, like, at the end of the day, like, if she automatically kicked him out right away,
I think it's about like how she will feel about it in the future. Is
Yeah.
she gonna second guess her own decisions?
Yeah, because she's gonna be like, wait a minute, like, what if he really did? What if he really would have stayed the entire time? What
Yeah.
if he would have been exactly what I needed at that time? I don't think she wants to have that second
guessing.
Yeah, second guessing. And you would never want to take away, your husband giving birth,
Being
like
a part of
being a
birthing
part of the birth and
experience.
process. Like, you don't want like to be taken away from that. So if he's proven himself and if he agrees to all this, then I say give him that chance and see what happens. At least at the end of the day, she will have, her mom there. Yeah. She has her mom there. So like she will have the support that she needs. She's going in there with a clear head, almost like she knows like she's going to expect either the worst or the best.
Yeah. Now, one thing I think that we didn't talk about and we need to talk about is what a piece of shit this boy's mom is.
Oh, absolutely.
How the hell did you not, like, the second he walked in the door, she knew that his wife was giving birth. She should have turned him around. Bro, my mom was literally dying and get out of the hospital, go back to the army, So like mothers are supposed to care about their kids' lives. Like there's no reason that man was able, like his mother should never have let him stay for more than 2 seconds. It should have been, are you out of your mind? Why are you walking into my door? Your wife is giving birth. Get out. Go back to the hospital. I did not raise you to be this person. But it sounds like she prompted him to come to the house and then tried to keep him there. So I think might be like
a lie.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
We'll say that. Let's say
I don't think so, though.
Let's say it is truthful. Yeah, the mom's a piece of shit. But
I don't think it's a lie. I do think that he went to the mother's house, and I think because there's this thing called enmeshment. Okay, a lot of boy moms have it, and it's where the mom kind of gets jealous because the wife or the girlfriend or whatever starts to take more of a priority role in the son's life, and she's so used to being the most important woman in the son's life that she starts getting mad and offended and jealous when the son gets a significant other.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely a real thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me to hear that in a situation where this girl is giving birth, the mom is starting to feel extremely insecure. Not only is she giving birth to their first kid and she's about to lose her baby boy, but she's doing it on the mother's birthday.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have family members that are born on my birthday, and it hurts. It does hurt a little bit because you're like, I'll never have that birthday again. Like, that'll never be just a day for you. For the rest of your life, you're in this family, and now everybody's going to be celebrating both. It's not, I personally have never really cared too much about birthdays. So it was just like kind of a joke, like, oh, you stole my birthday, but like, I'm just like, I don't even really celebrate my birthday. So it's no biggie. I'm happy to celebrate the other one. But if you're someone that actually does care about birthdays and you're looking at this and you're like, this will never be a special day for me again. My son will never just think about me ever again. He's going to be celebrating his kid's birthday that this woman gave him. And I don't think it was a lie. I don't think he was cheating. I really do think that the mother enticed him to come over and she like forced him to stay at the house to try to prove, oh, look, I'm the more important one. You're out there giving birth and he's still staying here because I'm more important to him. It's just this weird power struggle.
That was the vibe I was getting too.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first I did have like that weird feeling that like maybe it was like a cheating thing, maybe it was a drug thing. But then like as like more of the story came around, like, oh, she fell, then there was a surprise party. No, like
mother-in-laws are a really scary thing to lie about because it'll come up. Like, I'm sure that this woman has gone to her mother-in-law and said something, like made some kind of comment. There's no way she didn't say like, oh, well, you fell, so my husband had to, like there had to have been some comment. And if if he wasn't even at the mother-in-law's house, you don't think the mother-in-law would be like, what the hell are you talking about? He wasn't at my house. So I don't tend to think it's a lie. I really do think that she set it up so that he would have to choose her over his wife who's giving birth.
Yeah, like just completely like manipulated the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of that episode of Roseanne when Jackie gives birth, but like Roseanne's like prolonging everything because she wants to spend more time with Jackie before she tells Fred.
Exactly.
That's like what it reminded me of.
Exactly. And she like wouldn't call
like very
Fred.
selfishly, like no, like I want to spend more time with her before the baby comes.
Yeah,
and, like,
I don't want to call
him.
Fred so that he would be at the hospital. He almost didn't make it for the birth.
And this was in the 90s, so there was no phones to text someone or call them or anything like that. Like he had to find out like through like the grapevine pretty much, like his wife was giving birth.
Yeah.
I could definitely see what you're saying. Like, I do feel like it was like that weird, like jealousy almost in a way, like
and a power control.
Yeah, like I need to make sure that I'm still number one.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to make sure that she's on top still. Like, and it's just like, like she's literally like about to have a baby. First of all, she's never going anywhere. Like, she's staying here now. Like, she had this kid. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to like, but then also she said that she gets along with the mother-in-law really well though.
Yeah, she did. But
So,
but you can get along with somebody.
Thing.
Yeah, you can get along with them well and still they can still feel insecure about their role in their son's life.
Definitely true.
We put it this way. We had someone that like an old friend of mine that pretty much said like, oh, well, let's see who you're going to choose. Like he's going to choose this person over like I'm going to choose Dana and my baby. They were saying that I would choose them and their child. And
you're talking about the one that said that her kid, her like 13-year-old kid sat on my couch and cried because she said, I don't want you to get pregnant. I don't ever want you to have a kid because I want Kenny to be there for me. I don't want you to have another kid that you would care about.
Yep. I remember that clear as day. The second he started that, I was like, I know exactly what this is about. I already know what this is going.
But yeah, and that was exactly the same situation where she was like, oh, that girl sat on my couch in front of me and told her 13-year-old daughter, oh, don't worry, even if Ken were to have a baby with Dana, you would still always be the more important one in his life. He would leave his baby to come to you if you needed it. And I was like, oh, okay, let me show you if that's true. When's the last time you talked to her? That day.
Plot twist, guys. It never happened.
Wow.
That day. So I do think that there's other. She felt threatened. She felt like her role in her son's life was being threatened because there was this new woman coming in and she's having this baby and she just had to she had to establish dominance. I really feel like that's what it is.
She's like peeing like on her couch or something
Exactly. So that was a really good conversation. I don't think we need to go into the comments. So Eileen, let's take a look at your next topic.
My next topic.
This is your last one. So each of them have two.
Okay, so we already used that one. So this one says, my husband has been getting with my daughter behind my back. Yeah, we got to listen to that. I need to figure, this has to be a really good story.
Okay, so that one, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's actually a pretty short post, but it's pretty self-explanatory in the name of it. How do you feel about it?
No, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do this one. I like this one.
Oh God, this is gonna be interesting.
Okay.
Pro tip for the husband. Hell yeah. No, not really, but
my husband has been getting with my daughter behind my back. My husband, male 40, and my daughter is female 22. There is no relation to each other. I found out a few days ago because I used my husband's phone to text my daughter after mine had died and seen strange texts between them. One saying something along the lines of, let me know when your mom's gone so I can drive back over. Sent at a time that he should have been at work. I've also seen some strange things over the Ring doorbell, like them touching intimately. And finally, the thing I found out that is making me believe this even more is I found a pair of my husband's worn underwear in her bedroom. And when I asked my daughter about it, she explained that she had a boy over and that he must just wear the same brand. All of these facts are pointing towards the same situation, and I just don't know how to go about it anymore. What should I do?
First of all, I want to know...
What in the Law and Order is going on?
Hold on. I want to know, how dirty are those man's drawers that you know if they've been worn or not? Like, I get if they're on the floor, But like,
No, I think it's pretty clear what's worn and what's not worn when it comes to underwear, men or
nah,
women.
bro. Like, I got boxers, and like, if I'm doing laundry and I have a pair of boxers that hit the floor and they fall, like, let's say I have a pile of clothes there, usually can't tell the difference.
So I think it sounds like she was just grabbing her daughter's clothes to do laundry.
unless there was like cum
I think
stains in them.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe
Yeah.
like he got a little
It could just be though.
excited.
She could just be saying like they're not folded. It's not just like there's a folded pair of underwear. There's a pair laying on the ground near the laundry because I went to pick up the laundry. So we don't know that like there's something wrong with the underwear. We just know that like they were not folded.
And she knows that they're,
And that they're
his.
Right.
So and then the second thing before we get into anything else, we are all just assuming that the dad is not the father of the daughter.
No, we're not. It said that's the first line. They are no
There's
relation.
no relation.
Okay. I thought that's what I heard, but
Yeah.
all right. Whew. Because I was like,
They're not
automatically
biologically related. He's 40, she's 22. And it doesn't say how old OP is. No idea. I would assume probably
45, 50.
45, 50, yeah. She's
Because
probably a
she had
little
22?
older. Yeah. Okay, so thoughts.
Wow. One, I feel like this is like a really bad porno flick.
Yeah, there's
That-
literally like the mom and daughter, like, oh, I got with my wife and stepdaughter, like porn. You're right, like 100%.
It's like a niche.
But let me tell you something. I gotta give the husband props. Like, yeah, he's cheating, he's a scumbag, but give him props, man.
No,
You
yeah.
might be
props.
a horrible person,
No,
bro.
listen, that's the bro code right there. Like, and I'm
Bro
not
code.
and
It's
I'm
his
not
daughter.
adopted daughter.
Doesn't
or not even
matter.
adopted. No.
Let's go through the comments. First of all, I think he's a piece of shit no
I
matter
do
what.
too. I do too.
Well,
But
don't give him props then. What are you doing?
Yeah,
like, he's cheating. That's why he's a piece
we're
of shit.
not
But
fist bumping this guy. Like, no.
I wouldn't
She's
fist bump him.
22 years old. Imagine at the age you're at hooking up with a 22-year-old.
hell no. But
Exactly. So how are you going to give him props?
listen, I'm the
I
first
feel
one
like
to
that's
say.
like pedophilia,
Yeah.
man. Like this girl is barely legal.
I'm the first one to say, like, I don't understand how people do that but like, if it sounds like they're in an actual relationship behind the mom's back, that's what it sounds like. They're intimately touching. It's not just like, oh, I walked in and you were in your bathing suit and I hooked up with you. Like, they're clearly
It
in a
sounds like
relationship.
he's taking a daddy kink way too far.
Yeah. Okay, so the first comment is she starts off by, or I don't know, this commenter gives advice to husband privately. You might as well give it up now. She told me everything. To daughter privately. You might as well give it up now. He told me everything. What do you guys think would happen if OP approached it that way?
I feel like you should just use the Ring camera.
No, so this commenter is advising that you go to each person and say, well, the other person already told me, to get the truth. Because she's saying, like, am I being crazy? Is this really what's going on? She hasn't had it confirmed yet. So I think, do you guys think that would work? If
I think the
approached it that
husband
way?
will lie and the daughter will eventually say the truth.
Yeah.
The husband's definitely going to lie. The daughter is already lying. It depends on the relationship she has with her daughter. Because if, like, they hate each other, she's probably doing it out of spite.
I mean, to be fair, the daughter's 22 and still lives at home. Usually, if you hate your mother, you don't still live at her house at 22.
In this day and age, like, who can afford to move out unless they're...
You're
like,
right, but if you hate your mom enough to be banging her husband... Okay, so there's a reply to that comment, and it says, yeah, mentally abused the girl who probably needs therapy after an inappropriate relationship with her stepdad. Yes, they're both in the wrong, but me thinks husband is a predator, and this should be handled delicately without putting so much shame on the daughter and more, what the fuck is going on that you feel that this is acceptable and normal? If this were any other man old enough to be her dad, how would the mother feel then? I'd go full on protective mama mode here.
I don't know. I think at 22, you're old enough to make decisions, and I don't think you can play the predator anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
if this
everyone's
was
so
like a
quick to-
15-year-old, then
or
yes.
even an 18-year-old, because then you
Yeah,
get the
they're a little
grooming.
naive,
Then
too,
you get the
yeah.
grooming coming up. But like, you're 22, you're old enough to drink, you're old enough to be in college by yourself, you're old enough to make decisions. She is living at home, so I could see that being a little bit predatory. But everyone's so quick to throw out that predatory statement nowadays that I don't think.
You don't think it's predatory? So let's
I
skip.
do think it could be, but
Let's
at the
skip
same
to
point-
a comment because I do have other comments in the meantime that are responses to those, but I do want to skip to this comment real quick. So This comment is a question. It says, how long have you been married and how old was your daughter when she first met him? OP
Yes.
responds and says, we've been married 11 years. My daughter was 7 at the time that we met.
Oh, yeah. Now
Yeah,
he's a
that's
predator.
cr- that's
now
cr-
he's a
In
predator.
retrospect, I can see signs of this happening from as early as about a year ago.
Yeah, that's predatory
Yeah,
grooming.
now we're in predatory land.
Right.
They've been doing this for a while. They've been definitely doing that since like she's like 14.
Yeah, like
Because he's 40. So you subtract 11 years, that's what, 29?
Don't
So
ask me to do math.
29?
Yes.
So if that's when they got together, like they've been married for 11 or just together?
She says, my daughter was 7 at the time that we met. We've been married for 11 years.
So 15 years. So yeah. So they got married at when the daughter was, so he was 29, 11 years, 22, 11. So yeah, he 100% groomed her. Like, nah. That man
that makes everything way worse.
Jail time, baby.
Yeah, that makes everything way worse.
OP, go for charges right now because that's statutory limitations and it's within bounds because it's still going on.
That's only if the daughter obviously like.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
it is. It is. The daughter would have to agree that she hooked up with him when she was underage.
And she will.
Why? Why would she? She's in a relationship with this man.
Because, like, so one, you get the therapy that's needed. 2, we need to get the proof first. But 100%, once the proof comes out and the mom, when OP approaches that and actually gets the daughter to admit it, because she's going to, you're 100% right that she's going to admit this. Because, like, he's clearly probably not taking care of her that well.
I think she will lie. She's not, in order to press charges, the daughter would have to sit on a stand and say, yes, I've been doing this
He's
however
been grooming
long.
me for X amount of years.
But they aren't in, it sounds like they're in an actual relationship, you know? So I don't think that she's just going to flip on him and agree to get him arrested for getting with her. I think this is going to be an uphill battle all the way for OP.
But it's worth it.
I fully agree. But without the daughter corroborating, there's really not much you can do. You can know he's a creep. You can know he deserves jail. But unless you can convince the daughter to get on a stand and say that he was hooking up with her when she was underage, there's really not much you can do.
OP needs to file those divorce papers.
She just needs a power of attorney, like a letter that's notarized in power of attorney, because like
there's no way she's gonna get a power of attorney.
Not a power of attorney. So in cases like this, if she doesn't want to face the accuser or face the perpetrator or the predator, which is the stepdad, all she would really have to do is get a letter, because I'm pretty sure statute of limitations will allow her to have like a signed affidavit saying that this has started.
Any lawyers around right now?
Yeah, I think you're wrong. I see where you're going with that, and morally that should exist, but realistically, I don't think that that's possible. So the next comment that the OP did respond to is, your daughter was clearly groomed by your hopefully soon-to-be ex-husband. I'm betting there was stuff going on before your daughter was of legal age to consent. Time to consult an attorney and a therapist. I'm so sorry that this happened to you. OP responds to that, I am now seriously considering getting the police involved before I even talk about it with either of them. Thank you.
That's a mistake. There's 2 ways to approach that. You can get the authorities because you're afraid. Like, I don't know if the husband's violent. It doesn't really seem like it since he's getting away with what he's getting away with. And that's the only way I would get the authorities. I would get some sort of concrete proof somehow. Ring camera showing how many times that they're alone together. I mean, he could justify that by saying that he lives
together.
That's what I was going to say. But the intimacy, I'm sure if she goes back on that ring camera, there's got to be something that they don't realize. You know what? It's time to set up a camera. Hidden camera in the house.
Doesn't matter, though.
Hidden camera in the house.
order for it to be worth any police officer's time, you would have to prove that they were having sexual relations 3 years ago.
Yeah, because they're not going to care about the fact that they're banging now.
They don't care that she's 22.
But so the first step is to get the proof that it's actually happening, which is where you need to get the hidden camera. Then you approach the daughter, and then then they get the cops. But
the problem is, the second you approach the daughter, it immediately flips to, you're just mad that he likes me more than he likes you. He's in love with me. He's always been saying that he's going to leave you for me. You know, because he has probably spent so long grooming this poor girl, he's brainwashed her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
completely brainwashed
guarantee-
her for him to like have like mold into like what he wants.
So if she goes to the daughter, I guarantee he's always loved me more than he loved
but
you.
I love him. No
He's-
way.
He's always had his hand on my knee during dinner. You know, like he's a creep. He's a complete creep. Because can you imagine hooking up with somebody you've known since they were 7 years old and you were almost 30 when you met them?
Yeah, that is absolutely disgusting.
It makes me sick to my stomach. So imagine the type of human being you have to be to do that. And then imagine what you can do to somebody's brain when you've had 7, 10, 15 years to just mold it into whatever you've wanted it. Like this poor girl has spent decades just being mentally tortured. And as much as I want to say like, yeah, get the police involved, get him thrown it, I don't see it.
So I definitely agree with that. Also, I hate to say it like this. I might get some shit for this one when I say it, but at the end of the day, she's now 22 years old. She's
Right.
old enough to make her own decisions.
And that's the way that the police are going to view it.
Yeah, like she's
Unless
not
you can get
16
proof.
years old. She's not 15 years old. Like she's a 22-year-old grown woman. If she's going to go be with this man who was essentially her father, doesn't matter. She's still she's of age now. That's all they're going to care about.
Yeah, and legally speaking, they're not going to. I think that OP needs to see.
OP
I
needs
can't-
to file for divorce and to
hell
maybe go
yeah.
no contact with her daughter for a little bit
I don't
No,
I don't
because-
know
until
about
she
that.
learns her lesson.
Because that's just going to happen to the
but-
daughter too. He's going to move. Like they're going to continue. She'll stay with him.
I don't think that the daughter needs to get because you got to think this is abuse. Like she was abused. She was 7 years old when this man came into her life. So who knows if he's been doing stuff with her since she's 9? You know, so to take a stance of like I'm upset with my daughter, like I would approach this as, first of all, this would never in a million years. Oh God. I would take the stance of I'm going to look at this like my daughter was abused. I'm going to try to get her into therapy. I'm going to do everything in my power to get her away from him. Even
But
if
what
I
if that
can't.
just pushes her away even more?
Away from what? Away from her?
Away
OP?
from the mom. Like what if
I
she's
mean, it
like, you know
could.
what, like she's not seeing clearly because she's so brainwashed by this man
Yeah.
for so many years.
She doesn't look
like,
at it like she was abused at this
yeah,
point.
she's not looking at it like she was abused. She's looking at it like,
Right.
no, he really does love me and he just cared about me my whole life and this just happened and developed. It's like, no, sis, like he's literally been grooming you since you were 7. Like
Yeah.
let's get real.
But I think that the way that she approaches it. So you're saying if the daughter goes no contact with OP, that's just something that she has to.
I feel like it's like almost like
I wouldn't
weird...
initiate it as OP though.
No, I
as
wouldn't
OP, I'm
initiate
gonna
that.
go into it and like I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Let me help you. But you're saying if
It goes the other way,
if the
like-
daughter goes no contact, that's just something that you have to.
It's like almost being with like a drug addict. Like if they're not going to see the error of their ways, then you have to back up and you have to let them do what they have to do for them to see it.
It's just
And
so sad though.
It is sad and it's absolutely horrifying and it's heartbreaking and to know that she's going through this. But unless she finally sees it, there's no like you can't force someone to see the
Yeah.
error of what's going on.
You can't force her not to see the
Especially-
stepfather. Because as soon as this gets called out, stepdad is going into a full relationship. You're the one that I've always loved because he doesn't want to go to jail. And he knows that if the stepdaughter turns around and says, oh yeah, we've been doing stuff since I'm 12, he's going to jail. So what's the first thing that he's going to do as soon as this comes out that the OP
Yeah.
knows? He's going to, I've always loved you. I've always loved you more than your mom. Blah, blah. And he's totally going to flip it so
Yeah.
that she doesn't put him in jail.
I would definitely come in at it like at a very supportive way at first. Like, let's get you into therapy. I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I can't believe I was blind to so many years. I feel horrible, but I really want to just make this like right for you and really help you with this. And then, then if if the daughter decides to be like, you know what? No, like this, I love him. There's no way. You just don't understand. Then I would just go no contact for a little bit, like,
Yeah.
and just let her just see it unfold because
Yeah.
eventually he's gonna fold because
He's going to, yeah, because
the
he
cracks
doesn't
are
love
good.
her.
He doesn't love her. He loves the fact that she was a child and now she was groomed. And eventually, like when it comes to predators, when they're done with their supply, they discard it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be done with his supply.
unless he's actually in love with the daughter and he denies it at first to see what the daughter's reaction is. And then if the daughter goes and says, oh my God, I was abused, then he's going to be like, no, we were like, he's going to go into it thinking like, because that's the only way he can try to
I think that
possibly stay out of jail.
OP needs to, before she talks to the soon to be ex, because it better be a soon to be ex. Before she talks to him, before she talks to the daughter, she needs to get in therapy herself. Because I don't think that there's any human being alive right now that's equipped to have that conversation, that's equipped to deal with the kind of anger and hurt and betrayal that she's dealing with from the husband. And I think that a lot of women might get upset at their daughter right away. Like, you're making a mistake. You betrayed me. You did this to me. You hooked up with my husband. And I don't think that most women, their first thought wouldn't be, oh my God, my daughter was abused. It was,
it's like
you
your
betrayed
best friend
me.
sleeping with your husband.
Exactly.
Especially at that age, you know,
yeah.
like in your 20s, like it's like feeling like your best friend slept with your husband.
Yeah. So I do think that she needs to seek out therapy before she does anything, before she says anything to her daughter, before she calls the cops, anything. She needs to sit down with a therapist and plan out how she's going to support her daughter through this. And you're right. You know, maybe most likely the daughter is going to, well, he's loved me more than you and he's been about to leave you for this long. That's probably what's going to happen. But she needs therapy to plan out how she can best approach this to try to get her daughter to not do that. And then if and when she does do that, the therapist can talk her through how to be a resource when the daughter does finally open her eyes. You know, because what is going to happen, I can see it in my head. The daughter is going to, no, he loves me. He's been telling me for a year that he's going to leave you for me. And that's going to happen. He's gonna leave the OP and go with the daughter and act like he chose the daughter. And then a year or two later, she's not gonna be so young anymore. And the mom,
and he's gonna discard her.
The OP needs to make sure that when that happens, no matter how hurt your feelings are, no matter what you think that you're going through, you are a resource so that when that happens, she can come back to you.
So my thing right now is that, let's say the OP's daughter does go no contact. OP, I feel, has an obligation to make sure that when their relationship is over, so when she does approach this and says, I need to like separate, that he doesn't go with the daughter and she has an obligation to protect a grandchild that might turn up.
Which is why I'm saying go to therapy.
I think we're just going a little too far deep because we don't know if that's actually going to happen.
But even if it did, that's why I'm saying like go to therapy just to make sure that it doesn't matter whether there's a kid, But at the end of the day, if the daughter goes no contact and goes off and starts a relationship with this husband, it's going to eventually end. That's no relationship lasts forever.
If she goes into therapy, what is she supposed to do? Just trot around the house like nothing's happening?
Yeah, it's hard. But at the end of the day, there's no crime being taken place right now.
Of course.
The daughter's 22, so whether you take a few weeks extra... Action.
But what happens when she's clearly going to be like, I'm not sleeping with him anymore. So what happens when the husband stops sleeping?
You just act like you're mad. I mean, women get mad at their husbands and don't, I mean, I don't know. I that's personally what I would do. I can't tell anybody what to do, but personally what I would do is I would act like I'm mad, act like I just not tell you why I'm mad, but I would gather myself to make sure that I could take care of my daughter in the best way possible. That I'm not going to go into this and put more damage onto this poor girl that has gone through who knows how long of being groomed and possibly assaulted as a child, So I mean, you're right. Like, I can't put myself in a situation where this filthy animal is somebody that I have to pretend is my husband. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be horrific. But at the end of the day, any move that I make from this point out is going to be in service of taking care of my daughter. Yeah. So it's just something I would have to suck up and do. And that's why I'm saying get into therapy right
so you
now.
can kind of like plan it really well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would make me sick to my stomach to have to look at this man and not punch him in the face every day. But at the end of the day, I do what I got to do to make sure that I can give my daughter the best chance of getting out of this with her head on her shoulders,
Yeah.
So
that's why I was saying she might have to go like a no contact at one point, especially if the daughter pushes the mom away when the mom does eventually confront her about it. Even if she does come with her in a very loving way,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. If
She might
she's
have to
so
be okay.
brainwashed
Yeah.
that she's so convinced that, because we don't know, the husband could be telling her like, your mom's
Oh, he
evil.
definitely
She's
is.
gonna
He
she's gonna
definitely
try to
is.
tell you that we shouldn't be together. Blah
Mhm.
blah 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 blah. So you just have to come out of it in a very loving way, and
that's why I said therapy, because
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. Even if you are a therapist, nobody knows how to handle this situation. Nobody in the world, so that's why I'm saying like you need to go to therapy so that you can best plan how to set it up so that when your daughter does go no contact, because she's going to go no contact, she's going to run off with this stepdad. You need to set it up so that when that relationship ends, the daughter doesn't look at it and say, oh, well, now I have nobody. I don't have my mom because I screwed her over. Like, you need to make sure the daughter is aware that when it all comes crumbling down, I'm here and
She
you don't
can
have
go
to
to her.
feel bad
Yeah.
coming back. I will always be here. So
So to wrap up, OP, you need to
get therapy before making any moves at all whatsoever.
at least have it scheduled and then get the hell out of that relationship and
or
then
like a
figure out
plan or something like that.
and then
How
figure it
to
out.
help your daughter through this, because your daughter is a victim in this situation and you need to get therapy for yourself in order to get ready to help her see that and make sure that when she goes no contact and runs off with this guy, that she knows that she can come back to you when it all crumbles down, because it will. It's like a movie. I could see it in my head. I see the next 5 years of your life playing out. So just
It's kind of like when me and you fight.
yeah,
And
exactly.
you leave that room where it's like, that I'll be able to like come back and be like, hey, so
Exactly.
remember me?
Honestly, I was thinking about with your ex
Oh,
when
God.
me and you went no contact, and we left off on such bad terms where I think I had said to you, I was like, I'll go to jail and I'll laugh doing it. But I knew that like you were in such a bad relationship that it was cutting you off from me, and he was doing it on purpose. And I knew that like we had been in each other's lives for our whole lives. So I knew that you would know that you were safe to come back to me, but it definitely, I'm trying to think of how we left it off, because I know that thing happened because you were living here and then you moved out. How did we end that off? Do you remember?
I honestly kind of forgot because like it's
It
been
was
like
so long ago.
But I think it was like almost like that in that kind of way. Like you kind of were just like, you know what, fuck you. Like you'll eventually see like what's going on, and I fully forgot.
It was something
everything.
along those lines of like, I know exactly what's happening here, and I know you don't see it right now, but one day you will. Hit me up when you do. And you did. I mean, as soon as your eyes were open. But there's just some things you can't convince someone of. You can't convince someone that they're in an abusive relationship when they're head over heels in love, and that person has so much more access to them that they
Power over
can
them now.
just mold their victim's mind into believing them. Like your ex had you fully believing that I was abusive to you, that I was the problem, that I was controlling and this and that. And I saw it. I saw it a mile away. But it was just like, there's nothing I can do. You're a grown woman, I can't make you see it, but you will see it. So I'll be here when you do. So that's why I'm saying like, this is a very sensitive time, and you need to I definitely didn't handle that as well as I could. I took all this shit, but
well, listen, we were also both hot-headed people.
Yeah.
and it's a little different when it's family
exactly.
like that.
Well, see, this is a mother and daughter, so that's what I'm saying.
But
if
I don't
you
know, like,
if you
it's
have the
different.
time,
Dana was also getting injections at the time too.
yeah.
So like hormones, he was getting loaded.
Yeah. But so what I'm saying is like if you because you had enough time to get on Reddit and ask people's opinions, right? So you have enough time to think about how you're going to handle it. And now if you're thinking about how you're going to handle it, sit in a therapist chair. Like I'm the biggest advocate for therapy that exists. Like I think I convinced you to go to therapy.
Yeah.
We grew up in a time where our parents were very like, ugh, you're such a baby. What are you going to go cry at a therapist chair? Like we grew
I
up
didn't
in
have
that
health
time.
insurance, so
Right. And I was like, figure it out, man. I don't care. I don't care if you like just figure it out.
yeah,
But we did. We grew up with the mindset of like,
suck it up. Like,
yeah,
don't
suck it up,
ever-
buttercup.
Yeah.
Stop being such a baby. I'll give you something to cry about. Your life's not really that bad, So I think that there's a lot of rewiring that has to be done.
Yeah. And it's really funny that like it's like coming from you too, just because like the fact that you're the one who got me going into a whole mental health journey to begin with years ago.
Mhm.
Like didn't even think that I thought I was like completely fine. And
Oh, I
you're like,
didn't.
no, you need to see someone. And then like they're like, hey, by the way, you have X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, honestly, I think I told you what you had before you even knew, because I knew. I've known forever that I had stuff going on, and we're so similar.
Yeah.
But I knew what the differences were, so I was like, "Hey, I think you have this. You might want to go to therapy and maybe broach the subject. Just explore it, whatever." But I, as I said, I think I've always been a very big advocate of go to therapy, work on yourself. And especially in a situation like this where you're trying to position yourself as somebody that's not going to lose your daughter forever, it's just, there's no harm that can be done. The only harm that can be done is that you're going to have to stomach looking at this man and not punching him in the face on a daily basis. But
yeah, for real.
if you can stomach it, man, that's the only way that you'll save your relationship with your daughter. So I really hope if Opie ever happens to come upon this, I really hope that you were able to salvage that relationship with your daughter. And if she is now no contact and she's off living her little life with this man,
just know that
this predator,
she will come back.
She will come back. It will come back around. You might have to wait a little bit. You might have to wait a few years, and that sucks. But just always make sure, throw some texts on the down low. Hey, I know that you're mad at me, but just know I love you.
Birthday text messages.
Yeah, happy
Christmas
birthday.
Messages.
Just let her know that you're there for her and that you will be there when she needs you. And that's all you can do.
Yeah, so I mean, bottom line is let's hopefully that this guy is going to be officially alone away from both of them. And
pray to God.
Maybe one day we'll get a little update from
Yeah,
OP.
we're going to keep an eye out for an update from this one.
Yeah, OP, definitely shout us out if there's any good updates on, this man, and hopefully he's behind bars or something. But
yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice. We'll be thinking about that.
Okay. Ken, you have one last card.
AITA for loudly correcting my MIL when she told strangers I was too career focused to give her grandchildren.
So for this one, this woman's mother-in-law goes to a restaurant with her, and instead of saying like, oh, this is my daughter-in-law, she introduces her as a career-obsessed daughter-in-law who won't give her grandkids. Basically shames her in front of like an entire room filled with strangers.
She introduced her as a career-focused what?
A career-focused daughter-in-law who won't give her grandkids.
Oh my God, that's almost as bad as like knowing people are having issues and like asking like, when are you going to give me my grandchild?
So she slaps back, and then it's flipped on her like, oh, you're the bad one because she retaliated. So she's asking like, should I have done this? Am I an asshole for doing what I did? So
I don't even know what the whole story is, but she's not the asshole.
So yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's definitely do it.
Okay. Am I the asshole for loudly correcting my mother-in-law when she told strangers I was too career-focused to give her grandchildren? At a restaurant, my mother-in-law introduced me to acquaintances at another table as her career-obsessed daughter-in-law who thinks work is more important than family. I was mortified that strangers now think that I'm some heartless career woman. I loudly corrected her. Actually, we've been trying for 2 years and have had 3 miscarriages. But thank you for sharing our private medical information with strangers.
Go, sis.
I fully, I know we're going to continue, but I fully feel the pain already from this.
Yeah. The table went silent and mother-in-law turned bright red. Later, she cornered me, crying, saying that I humiliated her and that she didn't know. But this is the same woman who's made comments about my biological clock and asked invasive questions about our family planning for years. My husband says that I should have just pulled her aside privately instead of embarrassing her publicly. Am I the asshole for not caring about her feelings when she didn't care about mine?
So I'm going to play both sides of this. But no, you're not the asshole, because I'm going to assume, like personal experience here, that it's happened more than once, and eventually you get to a certain point where you explode. Yeah, could it have been handled probably a little differently? But again, no, because you can only be beaten so many times, and eventually you're going to snap. And sometimes that's the only thing that gets through to people. So no, you're not the a-hole. First of all, these are complete strangers. They have no reason to know what's going on in your personal life. Like family members don't even get to know that. So no, you're not at all. No, you're good.
What do you think?
I think we can all agree she is not the asshole in this. Again, like you were saying, like no stranger has any right to know your personal life like that. And same thing, like she was probably just beaten down so many times. And this is a prime example as to like you should never like blurt things out like that. Like you have to think before you speak. Like you don't know what's going on behind someone's closed doors. You don't know what's officially going on behind there, like what's behind the scenes. You don't know that she just had all these miscarriages. You don't know that she's been trying for all these years. The fact that you just automatically assume that like she's just career driven, like maybe she gave up to the point where she said, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on my career. You don't know. Like you just because she's your daughter-in-law doesn't mean you know every little thing about her.
How many times did we struggled, we had fertility issues, so like my parents knew what was going on, my wife's parents knew what was going on. So like with us, when we were struggling through everything, that my parents knew, like the close people in my family knew like what battles we were going through. But so I assume that the mother-in-law 100% knew what was going on, and the husband in this situation, like for him to be like, oh, you could have handled that off to the side. No, like maybe you got to control your mom and be like, yo, like, you know what we're going through. Like you have a certain point where it's like, if you know what's going on, there's no reason to be bringing that up like that. And like nowadays, like I feel like a lot more people are coming out with fertility issues that like were just thought of like whatever in the day. And like it's
becoming more self-aware.
Exactly. And the fact that like it hurts to be like, oh, where are my grandchildren here? Like you don't just go around saying that. So like the mother-in-law like knows that they're struggling 100% here.
Yeah.
And I want to know what age they are too. I don't know why, but like the age here, like it doesn't say it anywhere in there, but I feel like that makes a big difference because
it
like
definitely does. I mean, I think out of like with your fertility like journey, I don't think anyone knew more intimate on it than me, like considering I almost was going to be your surrogate at one point. And to see the struggles that both of you went through, like, and to see the emotional highs and lows that you guys had is crazy to me. That's why I was like thinking to myself, like, well, maybe she just gave up, because I know there came a point where you were just like, I'm going to just focus on my career. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm done. I don't want to do this. I'm tired of the shots. I'm tired of the meds. I'm tired of doing this. So I can see where like OP like was probably like, you know what, I'm going to just focus on my career. And if whatever happens, happens. Like, and just like see that like on a more deeper level, like, because I watched it go down between both of you. Like, maybe that's why I see it that way. But like
when people sit there and be like, all right, when you stop trying, that's when it's going to happen. And
that's so outdated.
I feel like that's where they're like what the mother-in-law's got it in her head, because like that generation, if they're in the same generation that I've dealt with, like even friends' parents did the same. Well, once you stop trying, that's when everything will happen. How about like the 150 grand that we spent in fertility treatments? Was struggle. Like, you know, that struggles. So it's not just going to happen for like everyone's situation is not the same. So like, I fully get it. Like it's also a high stress situation in the first place. So like when someone brings it up, it hits that spot. It's like that knife that like, it's not even like it's an open wound that
you just poured salt on.
Yeah. The scab's not even there. Like it's just a fresh wound all the time that like you're struggling. Not only that, but like, did they say they were going through fertility treatments?
She said that they were just had miscarriages. She didn't say fertility treatments per se, but they said that they are been having trouble conceiving.
Yeah, so even with the miscarriages,
good memory.
Even with the miscarriages that have happened, like that's a high stress situation that they're probably having intimacy issues in their relationship that are affecting them, and they're trying to probably just battle through to keep their relationship even as strong as it was prior to trying to conceive. So to deal with these all these other obstacles that shouldn't even be there, like the people that are supposed to support you through it, to have something like that,
and strangers too, like they don't even know
acquaintances.
Like you're supposed to be going
you're being introduced.
Yeah,
as that.
Like like the doctors always say, like keep going on with your normal day. Don't try to change too much because less stress equals a better chance of conceiving. So like, yeah, maybe she is being career focused because that's what the doctors are advising, because that's supposed to alleviate some of that stress, that because like stress kills pregnancies 100%.
Yeah, like if they're supposed to just be as normal as they can be, then she has to just keep going about her life. And if that means maybe she's always been really career driven, and she's always been someone to really like shoot for, to like be like boss status and stuff like that. Like it's wild. It's so disrespectful on in so many different ways. Like between the mother-in-law, the husband, like this poor woman, like is literally just getting beat down from the people who are supposed to support her the most.
Like I look at like Dana is 100% a career driven woman that like we're in the same situation kind of now where it's like,
Yeah, this literally could be written by me.
exactly. It's almost
Yeah,
like,
when you're like reading that, I'm just like,
Are you trying
wow.
to sneak a story you wrote in
Did
there?
you write that? But I can also not see your mom saying that though.
Yeah.
So
like I'm looking at it like I know my wife is career driven. She like is the reason we started this podcast. Like she is very like, I want to be at the top. So
and she's always been vocal about that.
exactly,
For
like
as long as I can remember.
and now we have our child and it's the same thing, which is great. But like I just don't see how, first of all, it's none of the MIL should 100% like be proud of her. Like she wants to be career driven and still have a child. Like there's no reason to beat somebody down for that. Like I don't know. I hate this mother-in-law. Like
yeah, this is like
fucking passion. Like I'm just like
garbage dumpster. Like this is just horrible.
So, all right. I'm glad you guys both got because I'm gonna.
Well, we know you're right. I already know
I'm amped right now.
Yeah.
Like
This is why we got it out of the way.
Yeah,
Because we know you're
I
about
just
to
sat
go
here
in.
quietly.
We know you're about to go in.
So, as anybody that's ever seen my podcast would know, I struggled with fertility issues for 5 years. I was pregnant with twins a year before I had my son. And I mean, I shared a lot of that. I shared my journey putting injections into my stomach, into my hip, taking 25 pills a day of hormones and estrogen and progesterone. I went through it all. I did the IUIs, they failed. I had miscarriages. Every single thing that you can go through in fertility treatments, I did that.
Before and after fertility, we miscarried once prior too. Like
so one thing I will say is that every single person in the world has some miracle story that they've heard. Oh, well, my friend's mom's friend's brother tried for 10 years and then as soon as they stopped trying, that's when it happened for them. You just got to stop trying, stop thinking about it. That's when it'll happen.
I hate those people.
First of all. Second of all, you get they did fertility treatments, they did injections, they did this, they did that. And then as soon as they stopped doing the medication, that's when they got pregnant. You got that whole group of people. And people kind of perpetuate it because a lot of people will lie about their situation. They'll go through years of fertility treatments and people around them will know. And then they'll say, oh, I stopped. It just happened naturally. They never stopped. It didn't happen naturally. But now those people that you're telling that fake story to are going to go around and just torture people that are going through fertility treatments.
Yep.
Number 3, the mother-in-law is a piece of shit. The husband is a piece of shit. And I don't care. I don't care if the mother-in-law knows that they've been trying. I don't care if the mother-in-law knows that there's been miscarriages. None of that matters to me. Career-obsessed daughter-in-law who thinks work is more important than family. I do not care if this mother-in-law has no information or if she has all of the information. None of it makes any of this okay. The fact that she slapped back and said what she said, actually, we've been trying for 2 years and have had 3 miscarriages, but thank you for sharing our private medical information with strangers. The fact that she did, like, I want to stand up and applause for her because there's so many times I've been at this for 10 years. There's so many times, even my own family, honestly, like even people that have great motives. I try to tell myself like they don't mean to be painful. They don't mean to hurt my feelings when they're saying that. So I don't attack most of the time. But I've had people, the closest people in the world to me, say stuff like that. Like, oh, when are you going to give me grandchildren? When are you going to do this? Knowing damn well that I'm getting fertility treatments, that I'm getting in everything. A lot of the time, it's very clear that it's not malicious. That is not the case here.
No, that is
this
100%
is 100% malicious. This woman wanted to embarrass her. The whole point was that she thought, oh, this girl, because I'm betting everything. She has no idea there was ever any fertility issues. She has no idea there was ever a miscarriage. She just thinks that this girl doesn't want kids because she wants to focus on her career. And that can only come from one person, the husband, her son. So even if that's the case, even if she's like doing through life thinking that this girl just wants to focus on her career, how dare you? How dare you go and say that to strangers? Not only say it to strangers, but say it in front of this girl. So the fact that she slapped back and she said that, thank you for sharing our private medical information, and the fact that the husband had an issue, oh, you should have taken her to the side privately, I would leave you. Like, I'm
So
not
fast.
even joking.
So
I would
fast.
end that relationship right then and there. Because first of all, let's talk about the fact that the ease of your pregnancy has a lot to do with the sperm that impregnated you. They just found that they did scientific research. A lot of the time, how easy your pregnancy is, how hard it is, how the entire pregnancy affects your body, that comes from the sperm. So let's say it's the husband's fault. You know, he's impregnating her, but his sperm is weak or there's something wrong with it, and that's why she keeps miscarrying, right? Could be his fault, could be hers, but it could be his. I mean, it's nobody's fault, but like, what is responsible? And this mother-in-law sitting there and her whole point was, oh, if I shame her, if I make her feel like crap about it, maybe she'll go home and she'll think about it and she'll have a change of heart and she'll give me grandkids.
It was like publicly humiliated her.
The fact that the husband watched her be publicly humiliated and then got angry at her for publicly humiliating back is so bonkers. Like, I would never be able to look at my husband the same way ever again. Not only for saying it, not only for taking his mother's side in that argument, but just for having the thought in your head. If you have that fleeting thought of, maybe you shouldn't have done that, I don't want to be with you anymore. Like, deadass, I'm sorry, there is no redeeming that. There is no redeeming the fact that your husband has held your hand through 3 miscarriages and is now sitting here saying, well, you didn't have to publicly humiliate her. You could have taken her aside privately. Screw you. I never want to see you again. Like, that's the end. That's the end of our relationship right there. So, in summation, if you know somebody that doesn't have kids, I don't care how old you are. I don't care what their relationship is with you. First of all, they don't owe you an explanation.
Facts.
If they don't have kids, it is none of your business why they don't have kids. Second of all, keep in mind that like a large majority, there is so many people now that go through fertility treatments. So when you're sitting there and you're asking prying questions, you're trying to convince somebody to have kids, know that most likely the problem is that they can't. Most likely, unless they've come out and straight up said, like, I don't want kids, I hate kids, unless they've come out and specifically said that, more than likely, the issue is medical. And you know what? If you're a grandparent and you're sitting there and you're badgering your kid's spouse, keep in mind that it's very possible that it's your kid. It's possible that it's her son. That's the problem here, that his sperm is not allowing the pregnancy to mature all the way to birth. So I think that even the most well-intentioned people, like I have people in my life that knew I was going through fertility treatments and still said stuff like that. There was still, oh, my friend, they tried and tried and tried, and as soon as they stopped, I know it's well-intentioned, guys. I know that you don't mean to soul crush the person that you're saying it to, but that's exactly what's happening. Okay, none of those stories that you're hearing are true. I promise you. I promise you that nobody tries for 15 years and then oops, as soon as they stop. No, that's not what's happening.
And even if it was true too, like, I feel like, I mean, I never went through it, obviously, but I would imagine that if someone sat there and like, I was like, oh yeah, I've been trying, and they give me this big miracle story, it's just gonna just anger me even more. I don't know, like, I feel like that would just irk me even more. Like, I don't want to hear about all these, I don't want to hear about Becky's,
well, and that's the thing is that
miracle story.
When they have good intentions, the whole point behind what they're saying is, yeah, they're trying to say, well, it will happen for you one day. I know it hasn't happened yet, but it will. And that's why I don't, most of the time when people say stuff like that to me, I don't attack, I don't lash out, because I don't think that they're being mean. I don't think that they're saying it maliciously. It's just they're trying to give you hope. Oh, I know someone that tried for
Right.
15 years and then when they stopped trying, all you got to do is stop trying. If I've been trying for 10 years, I promise you there's been times that I stopped.
Yeah. Oh, I know you. I know, because I like I said, I never went through, fertility issues, but I watched you go through it, and I watched your desperation. I watched you cry. I watched you get angry. I watched you give yourself self-doubt. So like for me to see that emotional roller coaster on a deeper level, like I guess like I just have more of like an understanding on how to talk to somebody else who's going through this.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you're someone that hasn't stood there and held somebody's hand, that they told you everything that they went through, because you could know somebody that went through fertility treatments, and that doesn't mean that you know anything. That just means that you know somebody. That doesn't mean that that person that's going through it has told you every single thing. Now, these two people, these are my people right here. Ken and Eileen, these are 100% my probably two of only three people in the world that I have. So they do know everything. But I know 100 people that don't. They don't know anything. They just know I went through fertility treatments. I'll tell like the whole summary version of like, yeah, I did 5 years. I tried. It didn't work. I went to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. I give them the whole
version.
story. Yeah, the whole story. And then those people, now you can't go out and say, oh, yeah, I know my friend struggled with fertility treatment and she just had a baby.
And she just had a baby. It's
yeah,
amazing.
Don't use that. Because
Yeah.
as well-intentioned as you think, it's taking hope away from people. Every time someone told me a story of a success story, it felt to me like, well, that's just never going to happen to me. Why can't I be the one? Why can't I be and yes, it did. Thank God it worked out for me. But it just as easily could not have.
Things with fertility, especially, or even if you're trying to naturally conceive, things can change in an instant. Like you can literally have where you obviously, if let's say you've miscarried twice and you go to the doctor, even if it's not fertility, but you go to see a gyno or you go see somebody that can help you maybe conceive easier. You can go through all the checks, be perfectly fine. And then a month later, something completely out of the ordinary, whether it be stress or different eating habits, changes completely. Like personally, me, I've had my sperm be great. I've had my sperm be completely trash. And you don't know unless you're going all the time. So for someone to be exactly, and for someone to sit there and be like, oh, well, she just is career oriented. Well, maybe she's focusing on her career because there's nothing that she can do. Maybe it's the husband that needs to get his shit together. Well, not his shit together, but he's not medically able to do it at the moment. And he's trying because we've been in that situation. And then,
but that's the thing. Even if it is, she wants to focus on her career. How dare you have an issue with that?
Yeah, it's none of your damn business.
That's another thing too.
It's none of your business.
Like are you that scared of of a powerful woman, of being able to take care of herself? Like, and the fact that the husband also just wanted her just like sit in the corner and shut up and not say anything. Like, no, how dare you think that like she should not have her own voice about this?
I think it also boils down to where I'll play devil's advocate on the mother-in-law's side. It can boil down to is OP an only child? Because
that's what I was thinking too. It's your only chance for grandkids.
You want your grandkids, and that's the only vision that you see. And you're hoping that it's gonna happen. You're pushing like you want it, but I feel like they tend to forget what the actual issues are. But either way, first, you don't go and say crap like that to strangers. You don't even say that shit to your friends because that's a family thing. And like when it comes to family, the husband is a complete a-hole because I always looked at like my family is very important to me. Always has been, always will be. But I also still feel the same. And whether my family is going to be listening to this or not, I have the family I was born with that I love to death. But then I have my wife, which is the family I choose. And if something upsets her, I have her back to make it so it's going to be corrected. I'm not going to sit there and just be like, hey, you probably shouldn't have handled it that way, especially when she got attacked in a restaurant. Absolutely not. Like, I will go no contact faster than I can clean the dirt off the bottom of my shoes.
And the funny thing is that a lot of times, like in this situation, I know for damn sure, if let's say this, let me put myself in the OP's position. Let's say I can somehow get over the fact that my piece of garbage husband didn't fully have my back in this situation. Let's say I could get over that and I ended up working it out. We went to counseling. I ended up working it out and I stayed with this husband. I can promise you with every depth of my soul that this mother-in-law would never so much as meet my child if I had one.
Absolutely not.
So
no way in hell.
So the fact that she's sitting here and she's publicly humiliating you to try to prompt you to have kids. Okay, now I had kids. Now you don't know them.
Yep. Now you don't get to see
It's
them.
like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You might as well not have had grandkids because you don't know them. You're never gonna have a part in their life. Like absolutely not. You don't like me. You don't want to be a part of my life. You are absolutely not going to be in my child's life.
Yeah, that's why like it's like those situations where it's like you just shut up and don't say anything.
Yeah.
Hi,
so
this is my daughter-in-law. That's
Right.
all you had to say.
Mhm.
You had nothing else to say besides.
Oh, it was 100% purposeful.
Oh, it absolutely was.
There was a motive behind this. She was trying to make her like rethink everything
like,
about
are you
her.
sure all you want to do is care about your career?
Yeah, she wanted her to go to bed that night and lay in bed and just, is she right? Am I too career oriented? Should I care more? No. And that is a self-fulfilling prophecy if ever I saw one, because I promise you this woman would never meet my children. So, I mean, you also got to think like women are going to look at the types of things that you say and they're going to think to themselves, do I want my child to be exposed to that? If she's introducing me to strangers as too career-oriented to care about family, what is she going to say about me in front of my kid?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do to like corrupt my kid to hate me?
And if you don't have a good opinion of me, there is zero chance I'm going to allow you to push your negative opinion about me onto my child. So, yeah, great. We had grandkids. You'll never meet them. So it's just, I think that as I was trying to get the point across that just respect people, guys. I don't care how old you are, because it's I hate to say this, I'm very sorry, it's ageist. This is a boomer thing, okay? Boomers, every boomer I've ever met is so
warped in their own little world.
They
Stuck in their
think they're being
ways.
they think they're being supportive when they say things like, when are you going to give me grandkids? When are you starting a family? Asking these invasive questions that are just none of your business. So I don't care if you're 70, if you're 40, I don't care how old you are. Stay out of people's business.
And
if it's your kid, there's so much better ways to go about having that conversation. And if you don't know that your daughter-in-law has had 3 miscarriages,
There's
maybe
a
look
reason
at
why.
why that is. Maybe because you're such a shitty person that you would introduce her the way that you did. And you're never going to know your grandkids if she ever does have them. Most likely what happened there is you just destroyed your son's relationship and he's going to now have a divorce under his belt because of what you just did. Because
Yeah.
I don't see myself coming back from that.
And also trying to make it seem like it's like a bad thing that a female wants to be
I know.
career driven. Like,
how dare
like
you care
that-
about your career?
like that's crazy to me, because I'm very career driven too. Like, so
Mhm.
like me, like I'm always like shooting for the stars. I'm always trying to like do better for myself. And I've had so many like boyfriends and be like, all you do is care about his work. You just don't get like all you're focused on is just making more money. It's like, yes, I am. Because
how dare I?
yeah, like how dare I? Because yeah, I may be living with you right now, but I could wake up tomorrow and not be living with you, and I need to be able to take care of myself
And again,
and my child.
that goes back to the boomer thing, because they were raised that a woman is supposed to be at home taking care of the house and the children. And now today, I guess millennials and Gen X, it's women have the power to support themselves and not rely on a spouse or a man. So when you say things like that, one, you're trying to regress the entire world. But it's just,
Well, boomers were also raised, like the boomers, I think, were the last generation that were raised, well, you have to have kids. Who's going to take care of you when you're old?
yes.
And I think that has a lot to do with why they're so gung-ho on, oh my God, you have to give me grandkids, because not only are they looking at it like, well, I need grandkids, they're also looking at it like, well, if my kid doesn't have kids, who's going to
The
take care of
bloodline
them?
ends.
Like kids are literally born just to serve a purpose. I insurance. And that's so many of them have kids as insurance to make sure it's like investing into a 401k for them. And I mean, first of all, there's no guarantee that if you have a kid, most likely if you're someone like this, you're going to probably go no contact with your kid. So
Yeah.
having a kid and having to raise it just for the insurance of, oh, I got to make sure I'll be taken care of when I get old is the stupidest thing ever. But
It's outdated logic that is, like we said,
but it's
is,
so
you know,
prevalent.
we have progressed so much since then. Like,
Yeah.
And another thing too is that if you are a parent and you have multiple siblings, like you have multiple children, and you do know of one of your older siblings that are trying to conceive and they are not, do not allow your younger children to ask the question, when are you going to give me a niece or a nephew? When are you going to, it's the same thing as like, when are you going to give me grandkids?
It's harder with little kids.
Yeah,
though.
but at least correct the situation. Like
Yeah.
it may happen because I've kind of been there. I was in that and I got the situation corrected. Like that's not something you ask, and you teach that at a young age.
Yeah.
And teach good morals at a young age. That's where I was going with that.
yeah,
'Cause
like
that,
teach them, like if it's like that kind of situation, you approach it in a very kind way. But if it's like someone older, then you have to put them in their place.
Yeah. Okay. So the top comment on this one is, it's in quotes, "Oh, I thought publicly embarrassing each other was how we bonded. After all, you started out embarrassing me." No, not the asshole. But you might want to come to some kind of firm agreement with her. Something along the lines of, if you choose to put me on the spot in front of people, you can be assured that we will have far less contact moving forward. I don't appreciate you being so rude to me. And to your husband, well, she deliberately publicly shamed you, but he thinks that you should be massively more courteous to her than she needs to be to you. Does he realize that he's fine with his mother humiliating his wife? Is that where he wants to draw the line? So I think that comment is kind of agreeing with what we're all saying. But I mean, again, it's just, as somebody that has gone through it and has dealt with the comments, has dealt with people being like that. My mother-in-law's never said anything like this to me, but I mean, I've had people in my life that are like that. You know, they'll know that I've gone through treatments and I've tried and tried and tried, and there will be a room full of people. And when are you gonna have kids? So just, guys, mind your business, please. Don't add on to the load that people are walking around with, because I can tell you that when I was going through fertility treatments, I had a 1,000-pound boulder on my back, and every single one of those comments just added another boulder and another boulder. And there's no point of making things harder for someone. Just respect people's lives. You know, if she's into her career and she wants to do her career and she doesn't want to have kids, none of your business. If she's trying to have kids and not being successful because she doesn't have a kid yet, not your business. I don't care who you are, mind your business.
And even I also want to just say like one thing too about that, because I watched you go through the highs and lows of your fertility, journey. And there were many times where you were very frustrated. And I think I remember one time you told me you were going to like join like the Peace Corps or something like that because you were just so done and fed up that you couldn't have
I joined
kids.
the army.
Yeah.
I literally joined the army because like for fertility, the actual paying for fertility treatments was so far off. Like the idea of being able to do IVF was so like obscure. And I was like, the army will help. And I literally joined the US Army to be able to do that. So
yeah. You constantly saying these like things like where it's like, I'm going to join the Peace Corps. I'm going to go travel the world now. I knew when you were saying it, like you're almost like trying to make yourself feel better in a way. You were trying to make yourself feel better and knowing that like, okay, well, I'm just going to do this.
It's like when you're allergic to cats and you're like, oh, I hate cats.
Yeah.
You don't really hate cats. You're just allergic to them.
Yeah. And I knew that's what you were doing. That's why I never was like, are you sure? Like, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, do you want me to drop you off at the airport? Like, like, it's just
you
like,
were always very, very supportive.
Yeah. Like, I mean, for anyone listening right now, if you know someone very close to you that are struggling with fertility, take it from me, the best thing to do is literally just listen to them. You don't even have to give them your opinion. Just let them cry to you. Because I can't tell you how many times Dana has cried to me about this, or frustration, anger, confusion, whatever her emotion she was feeling. She just screamed it out to me. And sometimes I wouldn't even say anything. I would just say be like, okay. And I would just shake my head because she just needed to let that out. And it's in a different situation where it's like she's like vented to like her husband about it because he's also emotional too. Because I mean, because men do go through this, not nearly as hard as females, but they definitely have like a degree of like emotions that go through this as well. Watching their wife go through this, going through it themselves, they feel the loss too. And so she wanted to be able to talk to someone from almost like an outside point of view, which was me. So if you know someone going through fertility treatments, just honestly, the best way to do is sit down, shut up, and let them vent it out.
And also remember that anything that's popping into your head, any advice, any story you think you've heard,
Just don't say it.
That woman has had it go through her head 1,000 times. I promise you. There's nothing that you're going to say that hasn't. It's, you know what I feel like? It's like when you lose somebody and they're in a better place right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so well intentioned because you don't know what else to say.
But in your brain, you're like, how the fuck do you know that?
How could that be a better place? The better place to be is here with me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just keep in mind that there's gonna not really be anything that you're gonna think of that girl hasn't already thought of. She's thought of it. I promise you.
And I'll put it this way, like, so we finally, we had our miracle baby, but right beforehand, like, I think, so we miscarried with our twins, and Dana and I both were like, we're done. We're not trying anymore. And that goes through everybody's, like, that. Even when you're not going through fertility, I'm sure like after like 1, 2, 3 miscarriages, you're just like, I'm over it. So like people just automatically start thinking, well, they must have stopped trying because you're telling people, you're done, you're not trying. So that's where I also think some of those can come up. But I promise you, like, it's an emotion that gets overwhelming and that you're just like, you kind of just give up.
Yeah, and it's definitely a lot. Like, I can only imagine like the highs and lows that you guys went through. And I think the only time I really gave any sort of like quote unquote advice for you was, and this is just because I work in the medical field, is that I was able to give you like some sort of medical standpoint advice. And that's just because that's literally what I do for a living. But there was a
lot of times that I came to you asking, what should I do? How should I handle this? Yeah. So I'm not saying don't ever offer advice or your opinion. What I'm saying is, if you have something like, oh, well, I heard this story about this girl, or even if it's your best friend, that sat there and tried for 15 years and stopped trying and then got pregnant, shut up.
Yeah,
like, it's not gonna help. It's not going to help. It's not going to help.
Just ask, like, hey, do you need any, like, even that question, like, do you need anything, can get kind of annoying. It's like when somebody passes away and you're like, I'm here if you need me. Mm-hmm. Like, the person's not going to reach out to you. So, like, just be there, let them talk, do whatever they got to do. Yeah. But, like, you don't need to.
Just your presence a lot of the time is more than enough.
I remember a lot of times when you would, like, really vent to me, I would be like, okay, do you want the rational family advice? Or do you want me to, like, crash out with you? Like, there were many times where it was like that kind of situation. Yeah. I mean, we've gone to the point where, like, I was almost going to be your surrogate and I hated being pregnant with a burning passion, but I was going to go ahead and do it for you, obviously, because I would do literally anything for you. But, like, it just shows to the point of, like, almost like desperation that you were getting because you knew that, like, I would have been the complete last resort. Like, I knew you did not want to ask me. And to know that we almost got to that point where it's like, where we would really have to sit down and talk to a lawyer and, like, really talk about me becoming your surrogate. Like, that just shows you the desperation that it comes with trying to have a baby. Like, to get to that point, I'm literally having goosebumps thinking about it because, like, the fact, like, knowing that people go through that, like,
because everybody,
crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's women out there that don't want it. I mean, I was kind of one of those that, like, I didn't, up until a certain point, I didn't want to be pregnant. Like, I was like, it's scary, it's painful, but at the end of the day, most women, they want that experience. They want to bond with their child in their stomach. And that's not to say that if they don't have that experience, they're not going to bond. But it's just, it's something that most women I would say most women want that. They want
Yearn for.
they want the experience of being pregnant.
I mean, like, I also had no emotional connection when I was pregnant. Like, I literally didn't like have that bond and feeling, oh, I know when I never had that. I just had a lot of pain, a lot of stress. And then after I had my son, you know, right when they put him on my chest, like, then I felt that love and I felt that connection, but I didn't have that inner body connection with him. I'm not exactly sure why that was me, but
to tell you the truth, I had most of the girls that I took when I first announced that I was pregnant, most of the girls that I talked to, you included, but not even close to you only, came to me and said, hey, just so you know, like, I know you won't tell it to me right now, but if you don't feel connected to that baby, don't worry about it. Don't feel bad. Don't be scared that you're not going to love him when he comes out, because you will. The way that you feel right now has nothing to do with how you're going to feel about your actual baby.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That is so, I guess it's really normal because so many people reached out and said it to me. Yeah. So I don't think that you
were comforted when you were hearing that?
I would have been if I went through it. Like, so I just tried and tried and tried for so long, so that when it finally did happen, like, I was super into it. I got super close with him.
You were so funny. When
I had conversations with him
right now.
Yeah, we argued, and Daddy would come in and get off your mommy's hip, you know. So, but yeah, if I was going through that, like, the fact that multiple women came and told me that would definitely have made me feel better. And it didn't have any kind of like negative impact that so many girls came and told me. It was just like, oh, that's awesome to keep in the back of my mind if that ever does
like, I'm not going
cross
crazy,
my mind. Yeah.
I do have to give like a small little shout out though, because like, honestly, like, watching both of you go through this and then it's like seeing both of you go from the transition into parenthood was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen when it comes to someone becoming a parent, because both of you like took on that role so naturally, like, especially with Ken, like, he literally, like, the second you went to that hospital, like, Ken went into complete dad mode, like, the second he could, and just like took care of business and took care of shit, took care of you, and then you just took on motherhood, like, just like so gracefully. Like, I was so prepared for 4 a.m. phone calls. I don't know what to do. He's like, but I never once in the 5 months he's been alive.
But can I tell you what a difference it makes to know that I have the ability to make that phone call? Like, like
I can imagine. Yeah.
We've had times that he's crying at 4 o'clock in the morning and we don't know what to do. And I'm like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm about to call Lee. So I haven't done it, but the fact that I know that I have that, I'm like, I don't know what I would do. Even if I don't use it, the fact that I know, like, I'm not screwed here. You know, like, it's not a situation where I'm just like, I have no.
You're sinking. You're not.
Yeah, the fact that that has provided me so much comfort in raising him. Is just that I know that, like, I'm not the last lifeline. If things go wrong, I have you. And there's been multiple times that I reach out to you and I ask you for advice or say, here, this is something that's wrong. What do you think? I mean, we had the recent medical thing with him and you were the only person that I talked to about it.
And I remembered I was like, okay, first thing you're going to do is you're going to breathe.
Yeah.
And you are going to listen to me really quick. And I'm going to tell you what's actually going on right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for you, because like, it's scary becoming a parent.
It is.
Hearing anything. And it's hard when you don't know what the hell you're doing. I mean, like I said, my kid's almost 10. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm winging it, like you have to.
All right.
Well, I love you very much. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Speaking of the baby that I just spent so long trying to have, I actually hear him. So hang on 1 second. I'm going to go grab him. You guys could get a glimpse. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed Eileen, because she will definitely be back multiple times. She's a permanent fixture in my heart and on this show. So I hope
on
you
the
guys
couch, because
enjoyed.
it's really comfortable.
And on the couch, yes. Oh, you like this couch? It's comfortable, but after you said for a while, it starts to get there. All right, guys.
But when you can't move, I'm sure, like, when you're like free moving. Like,
yeah, exactly.
She just hates not being able to be in that corner because she's already back in the corner.
They're gonna make fun of me for the corner for the rest of the life. It's okay.
All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.